Dude, have you ever held an Xbox controller from the Series X or Series S, the newest one?
No, I mean, isn't it like the same thing as the Xbox One,
I no,
pretty
no.
much?
I've held one of those more recently too. These it has like, you know how the PlayStation remotes have the texture in it that's the X's and
Yeah.
squares. It I don't think it's a visual texture like that, but it's a really deep. It's like they're they are some sturdy controllers. There's one right over
Hmm.
there in front of me. That's why I thought about that. But I wanted to give a shout out to my favorite controller, the best controller of all time, the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. I doubt you were expecting that one.
I yeah, even I wasn't expecting that one, and and I already knew. I was expecting you wholeheartedly to say the
Dude,
DualSense,
that thing's
but
amazing. That thing has amazing
it
features. It just doesn't fit in my
it
hands as
really
nicely.
is, especially when you're playing Astro's Playroom.
Yes,
Oh my
dude,
god.
Astros was so fun to play.
Hey, but that is a spoiler for later on, so we can't talk about that right now.
First, we're going to talk about legal problems.
Welcome to Internet Content with the Boys. This is Internet Content. I'm Jake, that's Landon, and we're the boys. If you've ever seen anything on the internet, that was us. Unless you didn't like it or was problematic, then, we didn't do that because obviously we only make good content as evidenced by this content. Obviously.
Of course, there's no other way that it could be. We only make
We've
perfection. We've cracked the
we've
code.
done we've done everything ever,
Mhm.
uh unless it was bad.
Yeah, people say that it was Mr. Beast that cured all those blind people and is now Satan. It's actually us who are Satan. Wait.
Yeah, he wait. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, Microsoft could get sued. Now, most of you probably knew about this in like whatever it was, like November, I think it was, that the or December, I think it was December. The FTC announced that they were going to sue Microsoft, that they were going to try to block them from buying Activision Blizzard, and saying that, like, I don't know if it's a market share thing, because they said that they would, quote, significantly reduce PlayStation's ability to compete, which is kind of whack because PlayStation's the one that has
Yeah, PlayStation
all
has
of
so
the
many exclusives. And like,
yeah, PlayStation's the one that has all the exclusives already.
just to clarify, both of us have almost only used PlayStations our entire life. We
Yeah,
have some
yeah. Like
Nintendo products, but neither of us own an Xbox. But I've played on an
mm,
Xbox various times.
yeah, yeah, me too. Pretty much only at like friends'
Yeah,
houses. Like I've never owned an Xbox.
but yeah, like PlayStation has so many exclusives. And
And which it like I can see if somebody didn't grow up with the PlayStation then they have an Xbox, I could see them swapping to PlayStation so
mhm,
that they can play the games. But I don't see a reason why anyone would want to swap from PlayStation to Xbox. You
I
wouldn't.
have an example. My brother,
I mean, you have
he
Game Pass, but you can get that on
dude, Game
PC.
Pass is
So why would you
awesome.
need a
Game Pass
separate
is awesome.
console for
Dude,
that?
Game Pass an amazing deal, I think.
Hmm.
Um,
No, I mean Game Pass is it's wonderful because instead of trying to directly compete with the same business model that Sony has, Microsoft is like, okay, we're just not gonna have all the exclusives. We're just gonna have a big subscription service that's awesome. And Sony kind of copied them, but I think Game Pass is far more successful so far than the new PS Plus.
yeah, no, I enjoy the new PS Plus. I don't think it is anywhere near worth what Game Pass is. Uh,
Yeah.
but I've played a good bit of the games that are on the PS Plus. I've gotten my use out of it.
The reason, though, that the FTC was trying to block it was because Activision Blizzard, they, are the people that make Call of Duty, which is,
It's a huge franchise.
uh, yeah, Sony called it irreplaceable, which, like, doesn't Sony have some kind of, like, first look deal
They
with Call of
have
Duty
that
or
with a
something?
lot of
Like I'm pretty
things.
sure the last few of them have come out on PlayStation like a few days before Xbox, or something small like that. But
I'm pretty sure that there was like exclusive like maps and stuff on Destiny that you could only get when you played on PlayStation for like
yeah,
months before they got put on other stuff.
yeah, there's so many little, like tiny little like DLC PlayStation exclusive things. Like
Which
there's some shit in
it's so
Fortnite
dumb.
that's PS exclusive.
It's so dumb that there's
Yeah.
so many of them.
No, yeah, even being a PlayStation boy, I agree. It should,
I want other people to be able to play
yeah,
the
like
games that we have
God of
access to.
War,
Dude, Spider-Man,
you
I
know.
know that these things are
Yeah.
being put on PC, but they're from what I've heard, the ports are not very good most of the time.
And we can't dog on Sony for having exclusives and we can't say anything about Nintendo. Come on.
Oh, dude. I hate how restrictive Nintendo is about their
Dude,
games and their stuff being in other places.
and Nintendo isn't even like, "Oh, you can only have this on Nintendo stuff." Nintendo's like, "Oh, here's a game. We're only going to release it physically and we're only going to release a certain number of
Yeah,
them
that was crazy.
so that oh my god. Like any Nintendo game, no matter like it stays at full price until it becomes an antique, so it's more expensive.
Yeah,
They just don't go down. Like maybe that's smart, but it's not very friendly to the
it is
consumer.
not.
It's
It is
not
not.
great.
I don't want to have to wait 6 years after the new Zelda releases so I can get it for not
Hmm.
$60. It's still going to be $60 6 years from now.
Yeah, yeah. But the most recent like development in the whole FTC thing is they said in January there haven't been any like settlement talks with Microsoft. So most likely it's gonna go to court, and if it does, that'll be in August. So that's coming up on us real soon. Like just in a couple months.
I
May, June, 3 months.
I don't know, how much they would be sued for, but if it's nothing that they're not going to be able to make it through, I hope that it happens and it leads to Sony having to make their games released on other consoles as well, not being able to have so many
Yeah.
exclusives.
Yeah, which like I get the whole model behind it.
Oh yeah,
You have
it makes
games that
money.
drive
Yeah,
sales to your
it's
console.
all the way to
Yeah,
make money.
but it's
But I want gamers to play games.
yeah. It comes a point where all of the good games are on just one console and it's kind of monopolizing good gaming experiences, you know?
Yeah, I
Like when was the last like really good story-based game that was not a PlayStation? So obviously there are there are exceptions.
hmm,
But as far as like really well-made high-budget AAA games, how
I
many
know.
are there?
I've always heard that the Halo games are really good. I've wanted to play them. I wish that I would have had them when I was younger because
Yeah.
I've heard the stories in them are good. And I've played a little bit of Gears of War 3. It was fun.
Hmm.
It was something. I would probably want to like watch something about it to know what goes on in it and not actually play it. I'm not the biggest
Yeah.
fan of cover-based shooters.
Yeah, yeah, no, me too. The best example that I can think of is the Uncharted games. And even then that's third person, so it's a
Hmm.
whole different type of thing. Like it's third person action and adventure with shooter elements. Like it's part shooter, but
Like,
that's
yeah,
completely separate
the
from.
Xbox they can play the Tomb Raider games, right?
I don't know.
So yeah, the Xbox they have the Tomb Raider games, which are pretty good, but I would say those are not they're nothing compared to the Uncharted games. Those are so great to play. I know playing the first one again more recently, it was so much worse than I remembered it being when I first played it years and years ago. So
Hmm.
much just monotonous shooting people.
Yeah, the second I'm gonna save this for later. we're we're getting to two topics from now. Uh, since we're not even talking about Microsoft getting sued anymore, let's go ahead and talk about games that are gonna be coming up pretty soon, within this year, next year, the year after
The
that,
future, within the future
in the
of
future.
time, if they're coming out, we might talk about them. Probably not most of them though. There's a lot of video games that get
hmm
made.
We're gonna be focusing on the PlayStation exclusives, but we will touch on a couple of them that aren't. One that may or may not be coming out in 2 days.
Ooh,
Spider-Man 2.
dude, that's gonna be so good.
I know. When at the end of the first game in the little like whatever it was end credit scene
Yeah.
when they showed Venom,
Yes, and it was on Harry.
dude.
Oh, dude, that was
Yeah.
so crazy. I'm so
I
excited
did
to see
not
where
expect that because okay,
goes.
in the first game, like Harry wasn't in it. The only parts that he was in
It
it
was like
was for
voice
those like
logs.
side missions. Yeah, for those like side missions for his like
Hmm.
scientific thing or whatever, and like helping out the community, being a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and like it was his recording and whatever. But then with the whole thing, like sneaking around Norman's like base and
It
whatever.
was his office, or no, it was their house.
Yeah,
It was like the
yeah,
lab
it was a
inside
house.
their
hmm
apartment.
And you found the little Venom thing, and
Yeah, dude, that
then
was so crazy. It's
dude,
gonna be so
yeah.
good. I'm gonna have to replay the first one before I play that because I don't
Mhm.
remember it as much as I feel I should. I guess I could finally get around to playing the DLCs. I've not played them yet.
Let's see. I played it 3 times. I played it once, and I played it once. I 100%ed it. I played the new game plus 100%ed. Wait, no, wait. I'm getting it backwards. I played it once, just regular. I didn't do everything, and then I just started a new save to play it again to 100% it, and then I played it a third time on New Game Plus, and then did all the DLCs that time. That's what I did. I fully intend to do that with a second game as well.
Yeah,
I am so excited for
I've
Spider-Man
played
2.
it twice. I played it once on
Mm.
the PS4, and then I played the remastered version on the PS5. I platinumed it both times. It was enjoyable.
Oh, yeah, then I've played it 4 times then. I forgot about the remaster. And Miles Morales. That
That was
was great
good.
too. Yeah.
That was my quickest platinum ever. It took me like 12 seconds.
Yeah, I just got to transfer the save over. Boom, platinum.
I mean, the one before that took longer,
A little bit
but
longer, a little
we don't
bit.
talk about that one.
You only got that second platinum because I couldn't wait till we got our PS5s to play it. I just bought the PS4 version.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one's gonna come out in fall of 2023. It's not confirmed, but I think maybe September. I think the voice actor that plays Harry, I think he let it slip that it might be September, but it's not confirmed.
Yeah, I saw stuff about there being rumors about the
Yeah,
release
yeah.
month. So, what is our next game?
We can talk about Final Fantasy VII
Oh, yeah.
Rebirth.
So, I had seen that that was a thing that was going to be happening. I
Mm,
did not realize that it is just a sequel to Final Fantasy VII, which
yeah.
I've uh I've almost finished the 7 remake, and I've finished 15 twice. It's my favorite game. I loved hanging out with the boys, going fishing and eating cup noodles, branded cup noodles.
Ga- Gaming content with the boys, am I right?
Literally, dude, it was literally just road trip. I mean, it could have been better. I'm not gonna say it was a perfect game or anything. It definitely had plenty of flaws, but I just loved playing it.
This one's slated to come out in winter of 2023, so right at the end of the year. It'd be probably
So
like a Christmas
yeah, it'd
release
be
or
Christmas
somewhere
release.
around there.
That'll be
Yeah.
good. That's always smart. It's weird how things release in
hmm
February a lot of the time too.
hmm And since you were already talking about Final Fantasy 15, we can go ahead and talk about Final Fantasy
16. I
16.
am really excited for that
Yeah.
one. Uh,
And
it
this is the only one we have on our list here that has like a definitive release date. This is June 2nd of this year.
it well, I do want to bring up one that's not on the list later on. But
Okay.
we also have another one that is on the list for 2 days from now. Is it? Would it be 2 days from now?
2 days from when this episode comes
So
out.
would be now in the
Yes.
future.
Yes.
So we'll have 3 that have definitive release dates. Yeah, dude, I'm
Okay,
excited for
okay.
Final Fantasy 16. I
Yeah.
I don't entirely know what to expect from it because they're all like different games. They, all
Mm.
used to be very turn-based, RPG stuff. Now they're much more action-based RPGs. Or there's the
Yeah,
MMO
yeah.
one, which is it plays very differently from like Final Fantasy 15 or the 7 remake. They're numbered so weird.
Yeah, I don't even understand. Like, as someone that hasn't played them, I just got no clue.
So
I'm just
I
lost.
will I will see if I can explain it this time.
So is it like every number is like a separate
Yes, it's
universe,
like a
and then
separate
if there's a
series kind of.
and then if there's like a 10-2 or a 10 like rebirth or whatever, then that's the sequel to the one with the number.
Yeah, yeah, it's
That
just
is
because
so
they
weird.
all just share the Final Fantasy name. There's
Yeah.
always this one guy named Sid that you can buy stuff from most of the time. He's a shopkeeper, and I think it's 13. There's the 13 like deities. They're like the only staples that are in each
Mm.
one, but they all follow completely different stories unless it is a direct sequel like 10 and 10-2, or
Yeah.
7 and the 7 remake and the rebirth. Which, when I looked up the stuff about it, when I actually saw that it was a sequel to it, uh, it said that it was likely going to be a trilogy, which is cool.
Just in general, I love when things are trilogies. You know, like movies and whatever. They have like movies, TV shows, whatever they all.
You know
If
what?
it's a
You know
story,
what
if it's
would have been a
anything with a
great
story, it has
trilogy?
a beginning, middle, and what?
God of War. But no, it has to be. It has
Okay,
to be
I
not a trilogy. I think it was phenomenal,
I
but man, I
I
want
have said
more.
this. Yeah, I have said this to you, but I want to put this thought out to the internet. God of War Ragnarok should have ended with them scaling the mountain and just cut, just like the end of God of War 2 did, where they can make a third Norse God of War game that starts just like God of War 3 did. And, like, obviously it wouldn't just end right there. They go and fight Odin and the story ends. Like, something would happen and they would have to continue it. It could still end the same way
Dude, they could
in,
have
in,
they
in
could have gotten in the
practice.
tussle with the world serpent and gotten yeeted back in time.
Yeah,
That would have
yeah,
been
like
insane.
something
That
could
would have been so
happen.
crazy.
Like, they could have made it so awesome.
I enjoyed the story of Kratos becoming a kind and loving person that still kills
Dude,
things. But man,
yeah.
it would have been so cool to see him kill so many more people.
Okay, we can talk about this more again later. Okay, next one we have on the list here, Wolverine. Now this one is gonna be
I
awesome.
can't wait to stab people.
I
I
know.
can't wait. It's
It's
gonna be so good. Insomniac makes
mm-hmm.
such beautiful games. It's gonna be
and
so bloody. I'm gonna cut people
mm,
in half.
I really hope that it's not open world. I want it to be very linear, very level based. For a Wolverine game, that's what I want. Maybe at the most like a God of War
Yeah, like a
style or a
semi-open
Jedi Fallen
world.
Order
I'd
style.
I'd be okay with a
Yeah.
semi-open world thing where it's still
But
cut
I
up into
would be
sections.
perfectly fine with it. I would be perfectly fine with it being like very
Like just
linear.
yeah, that would be cool.
Like you have a level where you're going through like a war in Vietnam or
I
whatever,
hope the
and then
platinum
the
isn't
next
difficult.
level is yeah.
It probably won't be, but I just hope it's
Yeah.
not bad.
I hope that the combat is pretty in depth. I don't want it to be like just hack and slash, you just fucking yeet through everybody like confetti, you know? Like I want it to be like an in-depth combat system that lets you have all these different types of moves and things you can do with the
Well, yeah,
claws
they're
instead
gonna
of
have
just
to do
cha cha
something.
cha
They're not
cha.
gonna be able to just let you chop. It's Insomniac. They love their upgrade systems. Ratchet and Clank,
Yeah.
they love upgrading stuff. Spider-Man, we're not gonna have gadgets because it's Wolverine.
Yeah,
So they'll
which
just be different moves that he'll be able to do, I'd imagine.
yeah, I want it to be more of a in-depth melee system than Spider-Man has. You know what
Oh,
I
you know
mean?
what it needs to be? It needs to be like Monster Hunter. Except you're just fighting people with your Wolverine claws. So you have to legit do combos.
You are the monster. The monster. You are the monster and they are being hunted.
But I want it to have Monster Hunter weapons. So you'll have something happen in the game where your claws can change to like a great sword, or to have two just dual blades, or the switch axe. I want a hunting horn. I want the bow gun. I want to have my claws poke out and then start shooting people.
Just picturing Wolverine with guns coming out of his hands is a wonderful idea. Somebody should make that. Make that into like fan art. Make it into a comic.
It's probably a fan art. I would not be surprised if that was
probably.
the thing.
Most likely. Next, we got Death Stranding 2.
I am looking forward to this one.
Now, this one, the release date is the most ambiguous. It's 2024 to 2025.
It's gonna take
literally
a while to make
anywhere
it.
between those two things, which is, yeah.
It's going to take a while to make it. I played through the first Death Stranding game, like, very quickly. The time to beat is, like, around 60 hours. I did it in 41. Because I just beelined it for
you
my
play
objectives.
games very
I did not
quickly
want to do
anyway.
any side objectives. I just wanted to see what was going to happen to these people. I got my otter hat from Conan O'Brien, and I swam away. And that was it. But I'm excited to see what happens in the next one, because it's weird. It is such a weird game. So weird. I love the motorcycle that you can get that's just Norman Reedus's motorcycle from his show Drive.
Yeah,
And
on AMC.
he gives the show shout outs constantly when he's on the motorcycle.
What do you think could happen in it?
Dude,
Because
yeah,
I know
I
there's
don't
a
even
time
know
jump. I
what
don't
would
think it's going to
happen.
be an insane
Because I
time
know
jump.
the image that you showed me of Sam, he looked much older, but that could be because of
he
the
had-
rain. But
Yeah.
at the end of the first
His
game,
face didn't look older.
at the end of the first game, it was like they fixed the stuff. There wasn't supposed to be the time fall anymore. They like severed the connection to the other world where the bad guys were coming from.
Yeah.
So I don't know, dude. I
Yeah,
have no
but-
idea what to
yeah.
expect, because I don't.
But
There was nothing after the story that I saw to do. There very well could have been a little bit more. That wasn't just side quests that were meant to be completed before. But it just I don't have any idea where it could go, because it didn't show anything like these people who had powers because of the stuff that they still have powers after. It didn't show anything like that, because there were some strong people. Delson was crazy strong. He made whales.
yeah. And this is a perfect segue to the next one. These were just in this order on the list. So I didn't even plan this. But Pragmata, we don't know much about it yet. The marketing is very Death Stranding like. Remember when Death Stranding came out, the first one? Like, the marketing didn't let you know much about it.
Yeah,
You just knew that there was Norman Reedus and there was a fetus.
yeah,
And that was it.
which was great. I love when it's very left up to, like your imagination. You don't know what's gonna happen.
Oh, yeah. And with Pragmata, it's being made by Capcom, by the way. So if it's good, Capcom could have a new marquee franchise on its hands if it's good. But we'll just have to see on that. All we know about it, for the most part, is there's a small blonde child, and there's an astronaut. They're in New York, and they're also on the moon. That's pretty much
Weren't
it.
the buildings all twisty, like abstract shapes type thing?
Maybe.
It looked weird. the one screenshot that I saw.
Yeah, the game looks very weird. It's one of those things. I think they're playing up the weirdness of it for the marketing
I
so
don't
that
doubt
people
that.
will be
That makes
interested
sense.
in it. Just like they did with Death Stranding. You know?
said something
Like
about astronauts. We're gonna talk about astronauts later. Did you know that? Do you...
Foreshadowing.
It won't be much. We probably won't even mention the astronauts, but they're there. What is our next game?
We got Rise of the Ronin in 2024, which, like, it looks good, but that's because Ghost of Tsushima was good.
Yeah, that's going to be a
Like-
tough expectations to beat if it's going to be similar. I know you said that it takes place in what was the time
Yeah,
period?
it takes place in the 19th century, in 19th century Japan. So in one of the screenshots of it, a guy just has a
Which is
revolver.
awesome. That's gonna be so cool. Swords and
Yeah.
guns,
Mhm.
dude. This is like Bloodborne.
And it's being developed by Team Ninja. It should be a ninja game instead. But no, it's another samurai game.
Wasn't
So
it a
we'll get
Ronin
Ghost of
game?
Tsushima, and then Rise of the Ronin, and then also Ghost of Tsushima 2. Like, it's not connected at all.
Ghost of Tsushima
But,
2 is
like,
gonna be amazing.
it really is. But if you look at the visuals, like, the game, it looks like Ghost of Tsushima. Like, if you just showed me some screenshots, I would have assumed that it was Ghost of Tsushima if you didn't tell me it was a different game.
Yeah,
They
I
look
see that.
exactly
It
alike.
looks very similar to Ghost of Tsushima. It's just there's like
Yeah.
more buildings. It's much more
Mhm.
advanced civilization that is around it. But like
Mhm.
this right here,
Yeah, like that could be from Ghost of Tsushima. Tsushima.
I'm not gonna do my impression this time.
Jin Sakai.
It'll be cut. You have brought dishonor to your family, Jin Sakai.
I'm so bad at impressions.
Dude, I feel like that one's one of my better ones.
Yeah, no, yeah,
I've done that one a
one's
good bit. I think that one's better than my Arnold Schwarzenegger, but it's
Yeah,
harder
and
to
then
say
also
things.
like not everybody has a Jin Sakai's grandfather or whatever, but everybody has an Arnold, you know, like
Arnold's an easier one to do. Dude,
yeah,
my
yeah, or
Elmo's
it's
good. I
yeah.
haven't done enough talking like Elmo, not saying the.
Julia's different because Julia has autism.
Dude, I did my Arnold impression for like 10 hours straight one time, and I lost my voice.
Yeah, wait, wasn't it when you were on a car ride
Me and
with
Zach were playing Saints
yeah.
Row 4 for like our 18th time. We 100%ed it again. My character, there was a YouTube video, a tutorial that you can make him look just like Arnold Schwarzenegger. That all the sliders
Yeah.
lined up. I just followed it every time. That or I was Robert Downey Jr. What game were we just
Um
talking about before?
we were talking about Rise of the Ronin.
Yeah,
But the
Rise of the Ronin does look a lot. It does look very similar to Ghost of Tsushima,
yeah, it basically is Ghost of Tsushima.
but it looks
But
like it's gonna be good. It looks very pretty. I don't think it looking like Ghost of Tsushima is a bad thing at all. I think the only
yeah,
negative is that people are gonna compare it to Ghost of Tsushima so much as we are right now.
exactly. Like I think in my head canon, no matter if it's good or bad, it's gonna be in the same universe because they're like way different in time. You know,
We can
just like how The Walking Dead and Breaking Bad are in the
no,
same
those
universes in my
100%
head
are
in
you in
canon.
the same. Those are in the same universe. That's not even a like up for discussion. Those are in the same universe.
Well, after we play Rise of the Ronin, we might think about that as well.
Yeah, I hope we can find connections that we can connect
Hmm.
it to it in our
What
own
if it's just the
crappy way.
same map?
That would be insane. But it is supposed to be, I would imagine it's supposed to be pretty historically accurate if they're trying to go
Yeah,
for it.
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
If it is, then that'd be really easy to get comparisons. Because wasn't Ghost of
yeah.
Tsushima supposed to be historical enough?
Mhm. Mhm. They tried to make it as like accurate as they could. The next game we have on here, the Knights of the Old Republic remake, which is a bit of a surprise that it is a PlayStation exclusive, but it is.
We do have some leaked news here of the release date for Knights of the Old Republic. It will be coming out
Mhm.
on July 15th, 2003. All I have to say is
Yep.
best wishes getting there. We're just gonna wait a little longer.
Yep, yep. So, it's going to be basically the same story as the first game, the same thing with Revan and Bane and Bastila and all of that.
Which I think that's going to be cool
I
because I've
hope
not experienced that story. I have both of the games; they were gifted to me by someone, but I'm still yet to download them. I told them I was probably never going to play them and they should give them to someone else, but they were like, "No, I'm going to give them to you." And I was like, "You still shouldn't do this, but thank you."
Knights of the Old Republic might be one of, if not the best story in Star Wars. It's just that the way that the story is told would it's not very accessible to most fans, especially being, a super fucking dated game that came out when I was 2 years old.
which is crazy.
You know, like it's very much not something that your average, not like diehard Star Wars fan would ever even consider playing or know anything about.
I
But
agree.
when the remake comes out, when the remake comes out,
Oh, I want to play that.
that is going to get a
I'm
lot of
excited for
attention,
it.
and hopefully it will spark Lucasfilm to actually make Old Republic movies. I would nut so hard. I want to see Revan in live action. I don't care. I want
I
it.
want him to
I
be
need
Keanu
it
Reeves.
now. Injected into my veins. Yes, make it Keanu Reeves.
Speaking
I
of
would love
Keanu
that.
Reeves, I watched Toy Story 4 for the first time yesterday, and it was
Oh, for the first time?
yeah, no, I had not seen it until yesterday.
You haven't seen it
No.
before? Oh, that's dope.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was so unexpected to me with him being in it, and it was so entertaining with him
Yeah.
being the little daredevil. He was so funny.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was very
Yeah.
predictable. That ending, I saw that like a mile away. It's almost like it's a kids movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But the basic gist of the story is like before the game starts, this is all told in flashback sequences, but it, Revan and Bane are not Bane, Revan and Malik. I said Bane earlier, I meant Malik. My brain is all confused with Old Republic stuff. It all just jambles up in my head. But uh Revan and Malik were fighting in the Mandalorian Civil War, I believe. And then they got pulled off to some other thing, and it was a Sith like altar or whatever. And then they got corrupted by like the Sith Emperor, like Darth Tenebris is I think his name, and he like low key possessed them and just turned them into Sith under like against their will, and they became Darth Revan and Darth Malik
Just
instead
like,
of they were Jedi
hey,
before.
bro, I don't care what you want. Bzzz. And then they had superpowers.
Yeah. Yeah, bad guy superpowers. Exactly.
Superpower. Dude, what's the difference if it's bad guy superpowers or not? It's superpowers. Are they not strong as heck now?
I mean, they were Jedi before,
Oh. Well,
but
does
now
it
they're
not
just
just
Sith.
add to their arsenal?
I mean, I guess. Yeah.
Like,
I
did they
mean,
just unlock
know.
lightning and the
yeah.
ability to choke people? I don't-
But, but, and then I think it was like Revan gets knocked out or whatever it is. He's in a fight, and Bastila's there, and then when he wakes up, he like gets amnesia, and he
That's pretty
just
normal
kind
for
of
games.
reverts.
I would say
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that's what happens in the first Witcher game, is that you have amnesia, and
Mhm.
that's why you don't know things in
Yeah.
your world that's developed.
And it's very convenient because he just kind of forgets that he's a Sith now, and he just reverts to like how he was when he was a Jedi. And like you don't just have the Force at the beginning; you have to relearn like everything. But you just pick it up super
Okay,
quick.
so if he could
because,
just
like,
forget that he was a Sith, did he just kind of get brainwashed? Is that all that was when he got abducted?
Oh no,
It was
100%.
just
I just didn't use that word, but yeah, it was just brainwashed.
so it wasn't even no magical things. They just probably strapped him to a chair and were like, "Hey, watch this TV for the next 4
I mean,
days."
it was just like brainwashing, but with the Force.
How do you forget that though?
I don't know, amnesia. Shut the fuck
How
up.
does hitting your head make the Force stop working on you? Dude, we figured it out. If we're ever in a situation and there is some Sith close by and he's like, "Ooh," and uses his magic on me and makes me try to like fight someone, just whack me in the side of the head with like a 2x4,
Yeah.
and then I'll be fine. Because what are the chances he's gonna get both of us? I think we are more trained than those two Jedi were when they came
Most
encounter
likely.
with the Sith.
But then long story short, Revan and Bastila start fucking, and and then I don't know anything after that. But there was a Darth Revan book, which most people that played KOTOR don't like it. I thought it was pretty good. That is all I'll say on that. Speaking of Star Wars games, there's one coming out in 2 days.
2 days as of the
And
future,
it-
but it's probably the past
it-
when a lot of people will see this.
It looks marvelous.
Yeah, I'm excited for new lightsaber types.
Yes.
Dual blades are cool, and I want to use the
Yeah.
hilt for 10 seconds before I
Mhm.
realize it's the really defensive one, and then I don't use it anymore because I just like to hit things with this laser stick.
Dude, yeah. I think the biggest confirmed change that is going to make the biggest difference in the game, fast travel.
Oh my
Jedi
god.
Fallen Order. Yeah. Jedi Survivor is going to have fast travel, like, after you get to locations. So after you beat the game, when you're going through getting the collectibles, you can just fast travel.
I'll be able to
That is your biggest complaint, just out the window.
I'll be able to run to a collectible, and instead of having to run back to the ship, not back the way I came, because it was only a lot of one-way passages. I don't have to figure out how to navigate back to the ship, and I get dual blades.
I knew Kashyyyk like the back of my hand.
I hated
By the end of that.
navigating the swampy area in Dathomir.
Yeah.
Trying to get
Oh,
out
yeah.
of there, because one of the way you went through in the story, it like closes it off, so you can't go back
Dathomir
through.
wasn't that hard for me. It was, which one was that where you like go underground? It's like an ice cave.
Isn't that
Ilum? No,
that's
it
Zepho.
wasn't
Zepho's
Ilum.
the
It
first
wasn't
one.
the place where you get your lightsaber.
Oh, it is Zepho.
It I think it
Bogano
might
is
have
the
been
first one.
Oh yeah, but Bogano is like the grassy one.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
go to
yeah.
Zepho.
It
It's
is Zepho.
I
'Cause
hated
that's the
that.
one
All
that
the
had
slides,
like monuments and whatever.
all the
Yeah.
slides.
I gotta let Myrtle in unless I want her to keep knocking at my door.
We interrupt this program with some breaking news.
Editor Landon, please put a picture of Myrtle up on the screen right
What I
now.
was doing, I was interrupting our program with breaking news. The
Oh.
news is Myrtle.
Yeah, breaking news. She's here.
Hasn't she been shown before?
Yeah, in episode 1.
I gotta put pictures of my doges in. They're so tiny.
Just go ahead and do it. Just make a musical montage. Just find some copyright-free music and just have a little
We
montage
can't
for
have
like 10
all
seconds,
of them.
just for
we
comedy.
gotta have it strung out to keep people here so they can see the tiny dogs. Because after they see the first one, so they'll have this information now. It'll be on screen probably before these words come up. I'll take a picture of Bruce. He's not the tiniest. There's a smaller one than him. But there's 4 Yorkies, and then the 3 other dogs, and then the 2 cats. So, stay tuned to later episodes for random pictures of our animals put in.
Indeed. Now this next one, I am very excited for because I am a big fan
Turtles?
of the Teenage Mutant
Yes.
Ninja Turtles. They're going to make, I don't know, I think it said it was going to be an action RPG, but it might just be an action adventure type deal.
Which either of those would be
But it-
super cool.
But I think it said it was going to be an action RPG, which is awesome. So, it's going to be over the story of The Last Ronin, which is it. I don't know how far into the future it skips, but it's just in kind of a dystopian future, which all of the Ninja Turtles are dead, except one, and that one uses all of their weapons,
That's hot.
and you have a black bandana.
Is it I would imagine it's not one of the original 4.
It is, but which one of them it is like that's a big mystery.
We
So I
don't
don't
know.
want to. Well, no, it's in the comics and it's at the end of it, but I'm not gonna say it.
Okay. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, don't say it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
cool. I got
yeah.
you. I got you.
It's like a big mystery which turtle it is.
That's really
'Cause-
cool.
Yeah, because you're wearing a black bandana. So yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Like you can just have your katanas and then just swap to nunchucks real quick.
So
Oh, he's gonna be so good.
my first prediction of who it would have been Raphael. I just felt like he might have survived the longest, but like I feel like they might have given us a little bit of a curveball, and it would have been
Yeah,
Michelangelo
like Mikey or
because
something.
he's
Yeah.
the silly boy and he'll have to be serious now. Because
Yeah, my first two guesses were Leo and Raph, because Leo's the
yeah,
leader.
I
Like
just I
he,
just don't
that seems
think
like
it
the
would
obvious choice
be
for me.
Leo because he's the leader.
And also Raph is always like the lone
Yeah,
wolf,
yeah.
so
So
it
like
would go
they
very
were
well.
the two first
Yeah.
picks, but I feel like they would throw us a curveball. But
It
if they're
yeah,
gonna throw
like
us a real
in
curveball, they would give us the one that neither of us have mentioned yet.
Donatello, my
He do be pretty
boy.
cool.
Yeah, but he's the smart one though.
He'd
So
be
if
able to
anybody
survive
was to
longer.
survive,
Yeah.
and in the 2003 animated series, in that one dystopian future episode, he's the one that doesn't die. So, but it might be Raph because in the 2007 CG animated movie, he's the one that that goes off by himself, and he's the Nightcrawler, and he's like the vigilante or whatever. I think Nightcrawler isn't the name, and that just sounded stupid, but he goes off by
Does
himself and
he
tries to do vigilante shit.
gain the ability to teleport during these times?
Uh, no, but he fights in a 50s style diner and uses a frying pan as a weapon.
That's not very Nightcrawler like, I don't think.
Oh, I think the little monster he's fighting in there does like do a little bit of teleporting, I think. I could be wrong. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Well, as long as that little monster teleports him one time, I think it counts. He's very Nightcrawlery.
Yep.
Do we have many more games on our list?
Uh, that is
That
it
is it.
for the upcoming games that we're gonna talk about.
Oh, I didn't say the one
Now
that I was gonna
let's-
say. Diablo 4.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
dude, it
yeah,
looks
yeah.
so pretty. But I'm not gonna spend $60 for it. But yeah. Diablo 3, it looks so pretty. I just recently played I said Diablo 3. Diablo 4 is going to be so pretty. I just recently played Diablo 3. I bought it years ago, but like 2 weeks ago, I put it into my system and played through half of it in one sitting, and I'm almost done. I probably have like less than 5 major battles. I'm finished with Act 4. There's only 5 acts to the game. So, I'm really close, but it was fun. I'm excited to hit max level and do some dungeons that aren't story based.
I thought of another one that we didn't
Another
have
one?
on the list originally, and I don't know how the fuck we forgot about this one.
I don't even know what you're gonna say.
Hades 2.
Oh my god, how did we forget about that? Dude, Hades 2 is gonna be so good. I'm
Dude.
so excited to play as a different character.
It's gonna come out this year. It's coming out in 2023.
What's her name that we play as? It was something that we had to-
Melanoe or something. Melinoe with 2 dots over it. Melanoa, whatever it is.
Melanoy.
Melanoe.
That's cool. That sounds
Okay.
good. Melanoy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Melanoe.
I'm excited to see stuff about her. I think it takes
wonder
place
if it'll-
after Hades, the first one.
I wonder, like if it'll be different gods you get your boons
It will.
from.
It will.
or...
There have been different ones shown. I don't know if we'll have repeats, but there was different ones.
I would hope so, because Hades has like all of the mainline ones, like Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, Ares, like if it was none of the same ones, then we would just have like obscure gods,
Do we have?
Kronos,
Yeah,
dude,
we get Titan
Apollo,
abilities. Maybe
Hecate.
because Kronos is who we're fighting. Kronos is the boss of it. I haven't seen this trailer in a while. Okay, it's already a 10 out of
I
10
love the
game.
art
There's a
style.
frog in the trailer. Because it looks like it takes place much more outdoors and not
Mhm.
in Hades. Because isn't Melanoe the daughter of Hades and Nyx? Is it something like that?
I think that might be it. It's cool that she has like the green and red eyes, just like Zagreus does.
Which-
That makes me think, are they related?
Well, they are related.
Oh yeah, 'cause
Hades.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. It just didn't. My brain just.
But
Didn't
it doesn't
bring
make
that down.
sense to me why she would have green eyes, because Zagreus has the green eyes because of
Mhm.
Persephone.
I mean, in that article thing, you scrolled by a bunch of names.
Well, yeah,
that were
that
giving
doesn't mean that that's people who we get boons from.
boons from. Yeah, I. The only thing that could make this game not as good as the first one is if I just don't get attached to the characters like I did in the first game.
Yeah.
Because I loved all those characters in the first game.
I
Like every single one of them.
I never thought I would
Like-
actually 100% that game, but it happened.
Yeah.
It was so
There's so
awesome.
much
There was so
content in
much
it.
to do. It was so fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so good. I never thought I'd 100% it and platinum it. Like
Yes.
it's a lot.
Oh, it was so crazy. Like, obviously we didn't upgrade our title in Hades' bedroom at the end to the max because that is impossible. Goes forever. Man, I can't believe we forgot
And-
to talk about Hades too.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad that I caught that because I would have been kicking myself if we hadn't mentioned Hades 2. Because when I was originally putting together the list, I was just looking at PlayStation exclusives, because that's kind of what we were talking about. But we had thrown some more because obviously. But now instead of talking about games that are gonna come out that we're anticipating playing and talking about the games that came before it that we have played to compare it to, tier list time.
It's tier list time, everybody.
This is a tier list of not every single PlayStation exclusive ever or anything like that, but it is all of them that we have played, or if there's some that we missed, it's all of them that are notable that we've played.
So yeah, we're doing a tier list of Vigi games that we played. Dude,
Yep, PlayStation exclusive tier list that we have played.
some of these we've played much more extensively than others. I would say
Mhm.
almost every one of these both of us have beaten.
Yep, almost. There probably
I say
are a
almost
few
every
that
one of these.
maybe
More than half of them, both of us, I think, have beaten. Yeah. Okay, so our first one is Arcadegeddon. Dude, I really enjoyed playing this game.
Mm-hmm. Now, I would assume that most people
Have
listening would
not,
not know
yeah.
what it is. It's a roguelike. But so it's a third person shooter. It's a what would you call it, like a somewhat of a roguelike looter shooter.
Yeah,
Sort of.
you do your runs. You go into, like, you put a VR headset on, you go into your simulation, and that's where your runs happen. You kill people, and then it'll charge up a bar, and once that gets full, then you go and fight a boss. You just try to get as far as you can. It was good. We had some bad experiences with bugs in that game, where I say it was bugs. It might have been 100% intentional, and we just didn't understand how it worked. But you can level up your guns while you're playing. So, like, if you find, that one gun that has the seeking bullet, that's the one that I found and used it a ton. I got it to level 4 twice because it would get to level 4 and then, I would go to start my next run and it would still be level 3 again.
Yeah.
Which happened a lot on a lot of the different weapons.
And like it's all right. I didn't think that it was anything particularly memorable, but while you're playing
it was
it's a good
fun to
time,
play.
I
am thinking
would say I was actually thinking C, just because there are so many great PlayStation
there is.
exclusives.
We need to.
We can move it up
It
later.
does
if
not
it doesn't
deserve
match
F
up.
tier. I will say that.
No.
So our next one is Astrobot Rescue Mission, which I would imagine you haven't played this one. It is a PSVR exclusive.
I have not. Yeah.
I haven't finished it, but it is very similar to just the Astro's Playroom on the PS5 in, like, the level design. It's just that there's collectibles that are hidden in the level, but instead of Astro getting them, they're like little chameleons that are camouflaged. You just have to look at them, and then they'll open up their eyes, and then go away, and that's when you've collected them. But you have to just turn around, whatever, look down this little cave, and there's one of them. It was really cool having to use your perspective to move around, because your head is the camera, because it's in VR. It's like you see where Astro is just in front of you. You're the third person camera. It's an interesting experience.
Would be disorienting.
It is disorienting. I was gonna put this one in C tier.
Okay.
Because it was really fun to play. I don't think I'm going to go back and finish it. However,
now the next Astros game, however,
I think needs to go into S tier because it was just
lasts
so
about
fun.
6 seconds. Dude, it lasts about 6 seconds to play from start to finish.
Oh my gosh, 100%ing it doesn't even take that long. It was so fun. It was so fun because
it's because that it references so many games that we have played.
And I love the little 3D models of all the PlayStation stuff. Because there were so many of those things that I have, just like in a box. It was so cool. It was so cool. And I love seeing the ones that I just didn't even know.
And how you can interact with them.
Yes. Dude, climbing on the stuff in the room was so fun.
Oh my god, all the haptic feedback. Oh.
I feel like our opinions will differ a bit on this, but the speedrun things at the end after you beat the game were so fun to me, because I know I pretty much only had you to compete with. I thought they were good
too. Yeah,
but it was so fun having to go back those couple times when you would beat my score, because those were tough to do, but you would find such quick routes, and then you see, if you ever go watch videos of like the top speedruns for them, those are insane. I don't even know how Astro moves like that.
Just shit's insane. But yeah, that's gotta be S tier, which Xbox fans would probably be very confused about.
Yeah, it's amazing. It was an amazing game. I loved it. I don't normally play platformers. Like, the only other platformer that I've played and just remember so fondly was Kirby's Epic Yarn. Amazing game. Yeah. I literally 100%ed it. I don't think I'll ever 100% another Wii game in my life.
Most Mario games could probably be considered platformers.
Yeah, but
like Mario Odyssey.
I didn't even think about Mario Odyssey. Mario Odyssey was phenomenal. But still, Kirby's Epic Yarn, I loved that. I'll remember that one so fondly. It was so fun to do.
Yeah, but then the next one, this is one we've both played, but I've only played it for about 15 minutes.
I got past I think it was Father Gascoigne, something like that. But I was being helped by people. It was fun. I really enjoy playing the Souls games.
I feel like now I could probably find some enjoyment out of them, but back when I tried to play it, I was not good enough at games.
I think we should play Elden Ring, which would be a difficult task because the way the multiplayer works, but we could help each other with bosses. We would just have to explore kind of on our own. If one of us joins the other, we don't have access to our horse, which means we have to walk on foot, and the world is massive. But yeah, Bloodborne, it was fun. I know a lot of people absolutely love this game. I had a great time punching that wolf to death when you first start. It's supposed to be like an enemy that will kill you. But I did punch it to death with my bare hands more than once, and it was great. I'm thinking we should put this one in A tier. Because it is good. I just know we both don't have enough experience to... a lot of people
very highly regard
it. Yeah. I don't want to put it lower just because I haven't seen all the stuff that makes it shine. I watched RT play the whole thing. That was cool. Yeah. It has some crazy bosses at the end that are like just crazy to look at.
All right, now, man,
Days Gone.
A lot of these at the beginning of the list that I haven't played.
That is true.
Days Gone is one I feel like I would enjoy it. I just haven't had the time.
It's really slow. It is hard to get into. Yeah. I am also going to put this one in C tier because I couldn't stay with the story. I know what happened because of my dad playing it more recently. I would sit in the room and I would have big chunks of the story just there on the TV that I would see. It's not a bad game. It was fun to play, but it's just too much of the driving your motorcycle around and looting stuff. Yeah, our next pick. We talked about this one earlier, Death Stranding.
Yeah, yet another one that I haven't played.
I'm gonna I don't want to put this one in S tier. I don't think it was that good, but I'm definitely gonna put it in A tier. Like I was kind of leaning S, but I don't think it matches what is gonna be put in S. Dude,
Yeah,
it was.
no, S tier is those. Yeah.
I probably don't need to say a whole bunch about Death Stranding because we did talk about it a good bit earlier. It was just so fun. It was just so weird, but it was enjoyable riding my motorcycle through those hills and getting
Yeah, and
dragged
I've
through
watched
the
you play it
black
for a good
water.
bit. Like it does look fun, but
It's
it
very
looks like
difficult.
A lot.
It's
again,
tedious.
it looks like a lot of time commitment.
It
Yeah,
is a
tedious,
lot
that's
of
the
time
word.
commitment. Well, Jake, I've got good news for you. It's another game that you have not played.
That I haven't played.
Final Fantasy VII Remake. I really enjoyed it. I got really, really close to the end, and then I stopped playing it, and the save is on a PS4. I don't know which one. So, I could finish. I don't remember what is going on. I'd have to watch a YouTube video that recaps the story. But it was so fun to play. I played it for 40 hours, and it did not feel like 40 hours of playing. I am going to
Yeah.
also put this one in A tier.
She's gonna fill up A tier when I can't say anything about him. Huh?
I guess so.
I mean, Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Now, finally, one that I have played. This has got to be
Ghost of
S.
Tsushima,
Yep,
S.
yep.
There's literally an S in the name, just like Astro's Playroom. It's got to be up there.
Days Gone has an S.
I don't care.
So does Astrobot. So does Days Gone.
And so does Death
So does
Stranding.
Final Fantasy.
I don't care. Are those
Okay,
games as good as
fair
Ghost of
enough.
Tsushima? Did
No,
those
I can't say
games
that
make
they're-
me actually cry? No.
Ghost of Tsushima, both the stealth and the combat are some of the best that I've
It was
ever
my
seen
favorite
in any
stealth in any
action
game ever because I'm not a very stealthy guy. I don't prefer to do things the stealthy way. But you could do the stealth so quickly and viciously in that game, and it was so efficient.
Yeah.
And
it's so
you
good.
never played the DLC, the Icky Island DLC, did you?
No.
Dude,
I
it was good. It was not super long, but it was long enough. You get poisoned
That's
with
what she
this
said.
this drink that makes you hallucinate, and then you start having flashbacks about your dad when you and him and a lot of the other samurai went there and just massacred people, and he was telling you how it was the right thing to do when, they were just farmers that didn't want to listen to the samurai. It was good. And you get this suit of armor way at the end of it that has a monkey on your head. He's sitting on a throne, and it changes your abilities. Like whenever you
sounds dope as
parry,
fuck.
you can do a different attack. Like you can do a little spin move instead of your regular attacks after you parry or dodge.
I think what the deal was I wanted to play the DLC, but then there wasn't a save that I could do it with or something, so I would have had
played
to
it
start
again.
over.
It was so good playing
Yeah.
again.
Well-
It wasn't
well,
as
yeah,
good following the story because they do a lot of talking, and the side missions I didn't care to hear again.
Yeah, I want to play it on New Game Plus. It's just, the job I have now. I
Yeah.
don't have enough time to, play, the entire game over again that I've already played.
Our next pick, I have some very special times that I spent with this next pick. We have our own
We have
tier.
a dedicated tier for it.
This game, I purchased this game before I had a PS5. Before I even had a PS5 controller, which I did get before I got the PlayStation 5. I got it so I could play Hades. Godfall. One of the worst games I've ever played. I like to make jokes about when things are going wrong in games. This is the worst game I've ever played. Worse than Godfall. Worse than Destiny 2 from all of my times that I've explain that Destiny 2 is worse than Godfall because
Worse
I love
than GTA, worse than Skyrim.
Dude, worse than all these things that I love so much. The only difference is I don't have any love for Godfall. Godfall is below F tier. Godfall
Every
has
time you've said that about Godfall, you've been genuine.
it's true. I hate Godfall. Literally the worst $70 I've ever spent. It took me 4 hours to beat the main story.
God.
4 hours for a $70 game that should have gone on longer. After you did the story, you just had like the tower that you would go up. You'd go in the elevator, you'd fight enemies in the circular room, and then you would be able to pick between 2 doors or 3 or whatever, and then go to a different room that had some enemies. All the second rooms that weren't the circular, all 4 of them that you could choose, whichever ones would pop up at the time, they all look the same. It's just so boring. It was beautiful, a gorgeous game, beautiful. Loved looking at it. Really hard to figure out what the heck my like how combat worked. It just didn't flow very well. Worst game I ever played, hands down. I hate that game. I'm gonna have that disc for the rest of my life. I'll never throw it away. Just as a reminder that I need to be careful when I pre-order something.
Dude, the last, what was it, 3 things that I've pre-ordered all turned out perfectly.
You pre-order bangers. You get things that you know you're going to like. I mean, the last thing I pre-ordered was Ragnarok, which I knew I was going to like, but like it's got to be special things for me to pre-order it.
The one thing that was questionable at one point but turned out to be a good decision was Battlefront 2. That one was pretty whack at release, but it turned out to be worth it. It was so fun, dude.
I remember when we stayed up all night. Well, we didn't attempt to stay up all night. We attempted to sleep before it came out. It just didn't work because we were too excited to play the beta or whatever. And then it didn't come out until like 4 hours after we thought it was going to release because time zones.
See, I pre-ordered that. I pre-ordered Fallen Order. I pre-ordered Hogwarts Legacy, and all of those games I really enjoy. I want to say there was another one in there that I pre-ordered. I can't remember what though. Yeah, I don't know. But I tend to make good decisions with pre-ordering. So going forward in the future, if I just really want a game to be good, I'm going to pre-order it so that by the rules of the universe, it's going to be good.
Well, yeah, it is going to be good.
Because if I pre-order something, that means it's going to be good, right? That's just how that works now. Because it's happened enough times.
So, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Eyes of Heaven. You've not played this one. I don't blame you. I played this when I was, like, still watching Part 3, which at the time, like, that was happening. Part 5 was finished releasing. But I was playing with a friend, and he was using characters from the later stuff, because I just had no clue what they did. And then he just became David Bowie, and his ability got charged up, and he was like, hey Landon, watch this, as I had just been beating the shit out of him. I was winning. I was winning up until this point. As he uses his ability, his character shouts some stuff in Japanese, explodes, and time rewinds. And then he has health back, and I do not. I get damaged because he exploded.
That's amazing.
I kind of... looking through this list, I don't think we're going to put anything in F tier, but if anything was going to go in F tier, this would be it. It's going in C tier, though. It was something. It was so weird. It was fun. It's not fun enough that I'm ever going to play it again. I beat it. Yeah. As I wanted to see what happened. It's like its own unique storyline where all, I think it goes to part 7. They all cross over. And they're trying to find Jesus's dead body. It's scattered in different pieces. Because Jesus was, he had superpowers just like they do.
That is absolutely amazing.
JoJo's is insane. I still haven't finished part 6. I still haven't finished watching it. I need to.
Yeah.
The other one that I was going to do was Shadow of the Colossus. This game was really fun. I did have to look up how to beat one of the bosses because I just could not figure out how to damage it. I'm going to put it in B tier.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
I had a good time playing it. It was like, it's basically a puzzle game, but instead of doing a normal puzzle like you would think, the puzzle is figuring out how to damage this ginormous creature, whether it be to get
That sounds
onto the
really
creature or to figure out its weakness, because they have weak spots that you have to like stab your sword into, but you got to climb all over them. It was fun. It was really fun.
It sounds like something I would be really bad at, but sounds cool.
I think you would enjoy playing it. The story is weird. I feel like I'm remembering this incorrectly. I don't think there are words spoken. Like, you read stuff, but like there's only one alive person at a time.
Yeah.
It's just you and your horse mostly. But yeah, it was fun. I liked the mask that you could get. That was the Shadow of the Colossus mask in Ghost of Tsushima. I wore that for a while because it looked very out of place. It was funny.
Yeah.
So, would you like to do something that just you have played?
Yes, I think.
Are these in order?
Yeah.
Because the only thing I think is that this one and this one need to be swapped.
Yeah,
because I just can't
1,
see
2, 3,
numbers.
and then Thieves in Time is 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right,
Sly
Cooper. Now, this is the difference between us playing games. I like to, go through a bit slower. He just fucking barrel rolls through games.
I played Ratchet and Clank as a child,
1,000 miles an hour.
and he played Sly Cooper as a child.
He played Ratchet and Clank.
So
I played Sly Cooper.
it makes sense.
You could really tell by the way we play Ghost of Tsushima. Man,
It's crazy, dude. You should see us play Hogwarts
Yeah.
Legacy as well. It's insane.
when I played Hogwarts, I literally went through every single side quest before I did each main quest.
Dude, you didn't even upgrade your clothes.
No, for a good bit I didn't. Just because
The game was too
I
easy. It was too easy.
yeah, but it's fun.
That's my only complaint with like the combat stuff is it was too easy. The combat was enjoyable. I do wish there were more plants because I was super excited to grow plants, but it was so easy. Just not even using plants because the plants were OP. Those cabbages were insane.
Anyway, back to Sly Cooper.
Okay, Sly Cooper.
The beauty in it is the simplicity of it. Like everything you do, like all of your parkour, you can only parkour on things that have like little blue sparkles on them or whatever.
It sounds cool, does it not?
And press
like, all your steps, they have weird sound effects. It's...
Yeah, no, there's like when you tiptoe behind someone, it's like do 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 do. You know,
that's really cool.
The sound design in Sly Cooper is really fun too. It's very cartoony. You feel like you're playing a cartoon. It's very fun because like when you hit someone, you can have like a pow effect or something. You know, it's like there's like trumpet noises when you knock someone out or whatever.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah,
I like when things have goofier sound effects.
I love how stylized it is. Like that's the first game like that I played as a child, and God, it's the first a lot of types of games that I played as a child. Like I think before that, like I think I got my PS2 and that's the first thing that I played. Like, so I have so much nostalgia for Sly Cooper. It's so simplistic that each little world that you go to, you get a different power up. Then you go fuck yourself. You have a different power up that you can get, but you can only have one of them equipped at one time. Like you have to go into the settings and change which power up you have equipped. That's bound to, I think, triangle, and it's like it. Like you can tell it's very dated. Like it's one hit death. So it's very much, you have to be very stealthy. You can get a horseshoe on your back that is like what's the thing in Hades?
I don't know what you're talking about in Hades. I can't think of it, but I know what you're talking about.
That revives you?
Dude, it's just a shield from Ship of Fools.
Yeah. Yeah, it just absorbs one hit. But you know, in Hades when you die and you get revived.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
it's that.
revives you. Dude, it's a
Well,
Dios. What are you talking about?
yeah, pretty much.
It's just a
I mean,
Dios.
you don't actually die. It just absorbs a hit, but you get what I'm saying. You're one hit without a horseshoe on your back. So go ahead and put the first Sly Cooper in. I want to put it in A. It's the first one. Put it in B. I
Okay.
think the first one is not as good as any of the rest of them. It feels like, okay, this is the starting point, and we can build on it. We can go from here. Sly Cooper 2, on the other hand, I feel like has got to be an S tier.
S tier. That's hefty.
Mm-hmm. Sly Cooper 2 is, I think, the best in the series.
You know, if you're gonna put one of your games that you played by yourself in S tier, I think I'm gonna put Godfall in S tier.
It builds on Sly Cooper 1 in every way. Instead of, okay, it's laid out where in Sly Cooper 1 you had, I think, 5 levels for each world, and there were like a set number of worlds. In the second game, there's a number of worlds that each have their boss, and they each have their separate open world that you get to explore, and you get to play as
I
Sly
remember
and
when
Bentley
you told
and
me
Murray.
about that. That sounds so much
Yeah,
cooler than the first
yeah.
one. Because I played
Yeah,
the
and
first couple
like,
missions of the first one. I just couldn't get into it. I had the bundle of them that was on the PS3.
yeah, yeah. And there's like a separate open world for every like area that you can go to, and every single one is like a big heist. All of the missions are setup missions for the heist at the end of the world.
It sounds like
To go to the next area.
Sounds like a stereotypical time that we would have in GTA.
Yeah, exactly. It's very.
Did you get to rob a casino?
Yeah, I love.
Maybe?
There's a casino in the first one. There's
Okay.
a bulldog.
I think that
There's
counts.
a bulldog guy.
I think if there's a casino
So
in the
you
first
did in the
one, that
first one,
counts.
yeah.
He's
you
got
did,
the Gustavo spirit.
Mhm.
They're not going to know what
But
Gustavo means.
it's
I don't think we should tell them.
you're not a bad guy thief. You're stealing back pages of the thievius raccoonus that were stolen from you. Sly Cooper 2 gotta be S tier.
Okay.
Sly Cooper 3, on the other hand, is better than the first one, but I'm gonna toss it in A tier.
A tier.
Yeah, I think Sly Cooper 3 is a step down from the second one because it gets a little too ambitious for its own good. There's a lot more playable characters that are only playable in certain sections. Like there's a little guru dude that does little guru magic that's from from Australia or whatever. You can get to be Remy or something,
Dude,
whatever
Remy
the guy's
from
name is.
Ratatouille? Dude, does
The
he
little
cook?
no, he paints. He's an artist. He's a lizard from France. Or I can't remember what his name, if it was Remy or if it started with the D or whatever it was. But he's in there too. He's playable a little bit. There's Penelope, Bentley's girlfriend.
Penelope.
Oh yeah, Bentley is a lot cooler in Sly Cooper 3 though, because
Bentley's the turtle, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's
because
got-
he's in
got
a
the cool
wheelchair in Sly Cooper 3, so he has these awesome gadgets from the wheelchair, because he gets, like, paralyzed at the end of the second game.
Sick.
For those who have played it, my favorite world is the one that's centered around dogfighting planes. I haven't played Sly Cooper 3 in a while, but I very fondly remember that one. I was going back and playing all of them recently. I haven't gotten to 3 yet, but I'm excited to get back to that to see if it lives up to the hype. Anyway, Sly Cooper 4, Thieves in Time. This is a B.
B.
This has got to be a B.
Okay.
B. You put it in A.
I did put it in A. B.
You can very obviously tell that it's a big, like, technological step forward, you know, from the first 3.
Yeah, wasn't
like,
this
it
one?
looks
Didn't this
better.
one come out on the PS3 and not the PS2?
Yes. Yeah. It looks a lot better graphically. So what it is, instead of just having different areas and different bosses, you have different periods of time that you go through. And in each period of time, there's a different ancestor of Sly Cooper
That's
that you get to
cool.
play as.
That's really
It's
cool.
really cool. Yeah, like there's Kid Cooper and you get to play with Sly Cooper, but he's in the West and he has guns.
Dude, it's literally just Assassin's Creed. They need to make
Yeah,
an
they're-
Assassin's
they're-
Creed game that's in the Wild West, so it could be just
And then-
worse than Red Dead.
But then there's one in in like ancient Japan, where you get to play as Sly Cooper, but his cane is like a sword, you know?
That's pretty hot.
Like, yeah, and like each of them have like different abilities too. Like the one with the gun, and then the Japanese one can do like different kind of parkour or something like that. But you know, it's very cool. They have there's more collectibles that you can get, obviously, for like trophies and stuff. And you can play with the amp from Infamous 2.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Should we
yeah.
segue that into placing Infamous on this, the Infamous series on this chart?
We should.
Infamous 1.
Where would you put Infamous 1? I'm curious, because I know where I want to put it. Where would you put it?
I'm thinking B tier because it's not as good as Infamous 2. But we have nothing in F tier still. So
Well, don't you dare think.
no,
put
I don't want to
Infamous
put
there.
Infamous in F tier. I'm just thinking we should shift somehow. Wait, why can't we have D tier instead? It'll be a lowercase d. And I can move some things down.
Okay.
Do you want to readjust any of these others?
You can put the first Sly Cooper into C. Well, no, put the yeah. Put the first one in
Okay,
C.
and I'm gonna put
Okay.
Death Stranding down one too. So there. So
Okay. Good shift.
for the audio
That
listeners,
works.
Death Stranding was moved to be Shadow of the Colossus, and Sly Cooper 1 were moved to C. And Days Gone and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Eyes of Heaven were moved to lowercase d tier.
Now, Infamous.
Can I say something before we get to Infamous? Because I don't want to forget.
Yeah.
We don't have the fourth Ratchet and Clank game on this list. We have a lot of them. We have the ones that I think do matter, but we don't have the one where it's just arena battles, which would also go in D tier.
I didn't put that one on here because I knew it was the one that was just arena battles. I was trying to do like just mainline shit. Like I didn't have like
I know
obviously we
you didn't have
play the
size
PS Vita
matters
God of Wars
either,
and whatever,
which
but
was it was originally on the PSP. I think I had it on
And
the PS2.
we can still rank them separately because they would be very different on the boards. But I have Uncharted 4 and Uncharted Lost Legacy on here. I know they were sold as different games, but for things that are
Have you played The Lost Legacy?
I have not.
We can't rank that, Jake. Neither of us have played it.
Okay, then we'll just leave it there.
It's just gonna
fine.
not be in here. If we
Yeah,
if we have to
I-
add another like layer to
Yeah.
this, let's see.
Okay. I meant to take it out, but because I kind of see it as a DLC of Uncharted 4, even though it was sold separately. Just like I don't have Infamous Festival of Blood from Infamous 2 on here, and I don't have Infamous First Light from Second Son on here, because I kind of see them as DLCs instead of separate releases, which they kind of are.
It's our new tier. Didn't play. Whoops.
Whoops.
Uncharted Lost Legacy. There you go.
Yep.
Should we get back to Infamous?
Yeah, Infamous.
Infamous
I
1. I put Infamous 1 in C tier with our...
would put it in B.
We can put it in B. I'd be okay with putting it in B. Do you have explanation as to why there and not C? I guess I don't have an explanation why I should go in C.
Okay. For me, the only reason why I wouldn't put it in A is because of the performance of it. On the PS3, it goes down to single-digit frames per second at times, and it is very common. If it wasn't for that, I would put this game in A tier.
I think we did talk about this before, and we also talked about your predictions that came true, like Boy being Loki. But me being like a 7 or 8 year old
Yes.
predicting that Kessler was Cole just from the future. Like while my dad was playing it in his bedroom, near the beginning of the game. It was the first time he had seen Kessler, and it was talking about, like the reason my whole gist was because if it was Cole coming back from the future, he tried to not have the ray sphere blow up and give him powers because that's what killed his girlfriend. He's just angry.
I have so much nostalgia for the first Infamous. Because
I have much more for the second one. I loved playing the second one.
Yeah. Because with my PS3, I got Infamous 2, Uncharted, and Uncharted 2
That's
that
awesome.
came with my PS3. Yeah, it was very cool. But yeah, Infamous 2. If you don't put this in S tier, I will burn your family.
Well,
Yes.
I was thinking, I seeing it up there, it does make me like it. I do like seeing it up there in S tier. I was thinking it go in A
Yeah.
tier because I don't want to put Second Son in S tier
Yeah, we are of the same mind.
because I think
Yeah,
Second Son
Infamous
was
in B.
awesome. It was so good. I
It is
loved
not as good as
Reggie. Reggie
Infamous
was
2
cool.
though.
I
Yeah.
I loved
Yeah.
the abilities that you got. It just wasn't as awesome as Infamous 2. You didn't
If
fight a
Infamous
giant
Second
man.
Son, yeah, if Infamous Second Son was had a better story, if I cared about any of the
I liked
characters, then
Reggie.
maybe it would go in S.
Reggie was cool. That's the only character that I
Yeah.
will probably talk about ever from that game. Like,
Yeah.
I'll never talk about Eugene or Fetch or
Mhm.
that bald guy with the smoke powers.
I
Hank?
don't know. Maybe Fetch. She's kind of fine. Fetch is kind of fine. I might talk about her.
She's a crackhead, Jake.
The drugs were heaven.
And it made her skin bad. Dude, okay, so I think it is a confirmed thing that Sucker Punch has 3 teams working on something. 3 different things. One of them is the Ghost of Tsushima sequel. The other 2 are just unknown. It might be 4 teams. I want to say it's 4. I'm just going to say it's 3, though, because, yeah. But hopefully, we're getting a next-gen Infamous game. And for your sake, a new Sly Cooper.
It's not gonna be a Sly
But a
Cooper.
next-gen Infamous game would be awesome.
Sucker Punch, that would be awesome though. Sucker Punch isn't gonna make another Sly Cooper game. A different developer actually made Sly Cooper 4. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Yeah, Sanzaru Games is the one who made Sly Cooper 4. Sucker Punch made the first 3. Sanzaru made 4. So Sucker Punch is just out on the Sly Cooper series. So unless they make a remake of Sly Cooper, which I have seen rumors of. I forgot until right this second. I have seen rumors that they're gonna reboot Sly Cooper, which I would be all down for. Anyway, what's the next
one
we got on
that
here?
I wanted to rank is actually at the end of our list, just because I kind of want to get it out of the way. But Returnal.
Mhm.
Returnal
Ooh.
had a very cool story to me. It wasn't something that
It had a very
I
cool premise.
yeah,
I don't
it
know
wasn't
how
something
well
that
they
I
delivered on
could
that,
get
though.
into very easily. But like
Mhm.
watching a video about the story explained, it was really cool.
Mhm.
It was really fun to play. Isn't there multiplayer now? Did we ever play that? I don't think we
No,
actually.
I didn't know about the
No,
multiplayer. I
I'm
haven't
pretty
heard
sure
about
there
that.
is multiplayer. That's worth looking up.
That's kind of awesome.
But yeah, I think we downloaded it one time to play it, but we just didn't actually play it. We went and did something else later on. Where would you put
Yeah, no, wait,
Returnal?
like I don't know. It's hard to say because like it's not like we beat it or
Mhm.
anything. We only played it for a certain amount.
I'm thinking C tier
So it's
because I don't think it's as good as Infamous or Death Stranding, but I enjoyed it more than JoJo's. It was much more
yeah,
fun to play.
Okay. Yeah, we can put it in C.
Because,
Okay.
like, a lot of the items in it, they just don't synergize very well. It's not the best roguelike.
Yeah, no,
And we were just not good
if you
at it. It
couldn't-
was very difficult. We just weren't very good at it.
Mhm. We are some roguelikey boys.
Yeah.
Some of our favorite games are roguelites.
Yeah, probably not in
Fucking-
this episode, but the next one, the one that you edit, will have Ship of Fools gameplay.
Mhm. Yeah, either that one or the next one or the next one. I have a
you have
few
Stuff saved
yeah,
up.
I have a lot of them stockpiled. I still have a couple Hogwarts videos I gotta use. Or maybe I don't have to use it. I don't know. We'll see.
Should we move on to the next thing just in the list? Persona 5.
Persona. Yeah.
I really enjoyed this. I loved this
Now-
game. It's so hard for me to stay concentrated that long for like
for long periods
for
of
like
time.
just all the
Yeah.
dialogue stuff because I want to pay attention. But it's just never ending.
Yeah, Persona is fucking massive. Like, I felt like I played it for forever. No, I didn't even get through the first section.
Yeah, I've
Like, I made it a good bit of the way through the pedophile teacher arc.
yeah,
Um,
in that
but
in his castle you do fight the phallic prince, which is just a giant penis.
yeah,
Just one of the
which
enemies.
I
It's
didn't
pretty
make it
hot.
to the end of that, which I felt like I played it for such a
Oh
long
no,
time.
you probably
What
did
I
play it for a
did,
long time.
yeah, what I did play, I really
Hmm.
enjoyed. It takes so much brain power. You got to concept like it's so much reading. It's
I'm
like
a
reading a book,
casual
but you're
gamer.
also playing a
I
game at the
like to
same
point
time.
my gun
Yeah,
and
yeah.
shoot and
Hmm.
farm things. I love farming
Yeah.
things. I would I would put
It's
Persona 5 in A tier, unless you're thinking different. I think it's a great turn-based RPG, and it
hmm
has lots of characters. I know I don't care about some of them as much as others, but I've made it past the second like boss's place. I'm in between the second and third. I don't know who my third target is yet, but I really enjoy some of the characters that I've met, and then others are just there. They fight people with me.
and I know that there's from some Persona 5 shitpost Reddit. I know that there are several characters that are minors that many people don't realize are minors.
I would say that's a pretty common thing for animes, anime type
Yeah, yeah.
things. It's sad.
It is very sad. It's anyway, yeah, I'm okay with A tier. Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna put Persona 5 in A tier. So
Yeah.
yeah, Persona 5 A tier. It was fun. I liked fighting that giant penis.
Indeed, indeed. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man
Uh
S tier.
yeah, anywhere but S tier is
I
if
I would like to just talk about Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales just as a joint, kind of, because they're very
yeah,
similar.
yeah.
I don't think Miles Morales should be in S tier though. I don't think it was as good as Spider-Man.
Honestly, I might put it in B.
I'm okay with that.
I knock
It's
it a lot for the length
it is short.
because
I don't
it
hold it at fault
feels
for
more
that.
like a Spider-Man DLC than
But
a
it also
standalone
didn't
game.
release at full
It really
price, did it?
does.
Wasn't it like $40?
Yeah, it was like 40. In Miles Morales, to get the full enjoyment out of it, it's one of those games you gotta play the side missions to
Yes.
make the main missions like worthwhile. Like to feel like you really get a substantial chunk of game, you have to do all of the content, you know? Because you can just breeze through the story
Oh, it
super
is very
quick.
easy to do because one of the achievements was for
Hmm.
beating New Game Plus. It
Yeah,
didn't take anywhere near as long just to beeline it through the story as it did to
yeah.
do everything, like all
Mm.
the side missions.
But but dude, the music in
It
there
is
is
really
so
cool. It is
cool.
really cool.
Because
I forget about it. I love that it's like all at
yeah.
nighttime because I loved wearing the suits in Spider-Man that had lights on them,
Yeah.
like that one that was like gray with the green spider on it. I really enjoyed using that one.
Dude, in Spider-Man
Oh, there's
2,
gonna be so many
I really
outfits.
hope
Oh,
I really hope in just a regular open world you can just swap between Peter and Miles like whenever like you can go back to your like your apartment or
I know
whatever
this
and
isn't
just
gonna
swap
happen,
whenever you
but
feel
I
like it.
hope that it's multiplayer.
That would be
That'd be
awesome.
insanely awesome.
They would have to
Oh
change
no, it would
like how the
it would
game
be
works.
so crazy
Like
hard to
it would
implement
be
and
whack.
make it work nicely.
Yeah.
I don't think you could just have two main character Spider-Mans fighting people. That'd be way too OP. You'd have to have
Mhm.
like twice as many enemies or more.
Like imagine a game comes out called It Takes One. It's just a nice single player game where you're playing as a doll running around a house. And then It Takes Two comes out, and It Takes Two is just what it is, but it's a sequel to the first one. Just completely different.
Yeah, you have to have a second
But
person to play
it's
it.
yeah.
You know, I would be fine if we had a mandatory co-op Spider-Man game. I know a lot
Oh
of
my
people would
God,
not be
that would
fine
be
with that, but
awesome.
that would be
A lot of
awesome
people
for
would be
us.
so pissed. That would be awesome. It really would. I'm a big fan of mandatory co-op games.
Dude, It Takes
A
Two
Way
and A
Out
Way Out
is
were so
amazing.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Ship of Fools, I know it's not
But
mandatory co-op, but it's made for co-op. It has been so
pretty
fun to
much,
play.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. What was that game? To Tango something? Operation
Operation
Tango?
Tango! I forgot about that. That was
That
so
was
fun.
fun.
That was so difficult. Oh,
There might be some more DLCs
there
out. We should
was
check on
that one DLC. I don't think we ever played. I don't know if it's been updated since then. The icon for it
Most likely.
on the PlayStation looks the same. But
Yeah.
dude, those We
We
Were
could
Here
check on it.
games.
There's probably some more content by now.
I know those
We Were Here,
those
yeah.
induce rage in me like no other games.
But once
They're
we
fun.
get it figured out.
Yeah, they're really fun.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just like doing an escape room, but
It's just
in video game.
trying to escape the first time is awesome. Super enjoyable in those games.
Mhm.
Trying to go back and do the correct things for the achievements was not awesome, which is why we didn't finish them. We played through the first 3. I think there's more of them out now.
Yeah, they need to put them like all in a bundle or
They
something.
probably are in a bundle. We just have most of them.
Yeah, yeah. Like I would be so down for playing more of them if they weren't like, aren't they like $15?
Oh, yeah, they're
like
expensive.
because it just takes a couple hours to beat. It's not very long. Yeah, $10, $29 for We
The
Were Here
series.
series
So how many is in it?
includes 4 items.
So we just don't have one of them. One of them's free. The first
we
one's
were
free.
here too. We were here together. We were here.
This
forever.
is the one that we don't have. I would imagine. Oh yeah, that looks very unfamiliar. That looks really cool. It's very colorful.
Dude. Yeah.
Did we finish this one? Did we just never play the other one? Because that looks. I recognize the stuff from We Were Here too.
We did. We Were Here too. I think
'Cause
we
we
tried to play We Were Here.
Stopped.
Mhm.
Because
I think we tried to play We Were Here together and we just gave up.
this looks really cool. Man, we'll have to go back to it. Try that.
Yeah. I think you were just really frustrated and We Were Here too, and you were like, fuck that, I'm not playing it.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then I was trying to get you to play We Were Here together, and you were like, nope, I'm not
Not
going
worth
back.
it.
Nope,
I would do
nope.
it now. I was very heated about the puzzle solving.
Yeah, yeah.
Because those are fun. They're challenging.
'Cause it was
it was
specifically
when
in
we
We
were
Were Here
going
too,
after the stuff
Through that
after
maze.
It was no, we finished. We Were Here too. We escaped. We were trying to go back and get the extra stuff like for achievements, which is when
No,
I got really
remember
mad.
specifically what specifically got you so heated. It was
that
like
maze was
one of
really
us,
difficult.
Like, yeah, you had to run through a maze, and then the person on top was like trying to tell you which way to go or something, and it was confusing as to how to
'Cause
relay the information or something.
We got through the game doing it like where we were, our original 2 characters, because they're in different spaces. They go through different paths.
Yeah.
It was whenever we swapped and you were the one running through the maze, or was it? It was
Yeah.
one of the two, because I think it was you.
Because you
running
like
through the
had to go
maze.
to certain
Yeah.
points very quickly.
Yeah, it
or
had to be
something,
very
and, like,
fast. You had to
have
just
it, like,
remember the
memorized pretty
turns.
much. Yeah,
It was tough. Oh,
Yeah,
it's just going through it the second time we didn't make it. I didn't make it.
yeah,
We should probably talk about more of the games that are on
Yeah.
our tier list.
yeah. Anyway, we were talking about
I-
Persona and ended up talking about We
What I
Were
think,
Here for
since
10 minutes.
there's a whole series that includes 7 games in here on our list that you haven't played most of them. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
do the PS2 Ratchet and Clanks.
Looking at these, I've played almost half of them.
Well, yeah, you played the newer ones. You haven't played the PS2 ones, which is why I'm gonna do those.
Correct. Yeah,
So I'm gonna put the first Ratchet and Clank into C tier because it's pretty jank. It's fun. Your guns don't have levels; they don't level up, which is crazy.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah.
That's like the whole.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, what Ratchet and Clank is all about.
I know.
That's like Sly Cooper with no stealth takedowns.
Yeah, it was fun. It's not as good as the
Yeah.
others,
Yeah.
but Ratchet and Clank Going Commando, the second one,
Commando, you boy.
significantly better. I'd put that in. I say significantly. I'm just gonna put it in B tier.
Marginally better.
It was better. You
Yeah.
your weapons upgraded. There were so many more weapons,
Mm.
but
And what's the third one? Up your arsenal?
neither the first or second Ratchet and Clank compare to Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal.
Up your arsenal.
This one is going into S tier
Okay.
solely because of nostalgia.
That is very fair.
Because we had it as a disc. Obviously, it was a PS2. It had a scratch on it. I could only play through the first 2 planets in their entirety, and then it would freeze on a part on the third planet most of the time. But if it made it past, I could get a little bit farther, and then it would freeze on like a little video game section where you're playing a Captain Quark platformer.
Mm-hmm.
Not My Blaster Runs Hot. That's a different one, I think.
Yeah.
I think. I could be wrong. But, dude, I would play Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal the most out of all of them. It had a multiplayer mode.
It had a multiplayer mode? How did that work?
Yes! Well, the PS2 has Ethernet port on it. The chunky ones.
Mm-hmm.
I think the PS2
No, but
still
like
does.
how did it?
Oh,
like,
I never played online. I only played split screen. But it was like you had this battlefield, and you could have the mode that I mostly played. I played on the largest map because it was mostly just me playing. I would go against no other people. But there would be the different weapons around that you could pick up and use. There would be different points that you could take over. That once you captured them, they would spawn little turrets. Like the turrets are white normally. They have a white color ring on them. And then you destroy them, and then you do the bolt. You spin it around, it'll capture the point, and then new ones will pop up. They'll be your color, whether it's red or blue. So if the enemy players were to come over there to try and capture it, they would have to fight your stuff.
So like if there were other players, were they just also Ratchet?
No, there was different characters to play as. You could all be Ratchet. You could be a skeleton. You could be a snowman. You could be Captain Quark. It was just random stuff. You could be two of the developers of the game.
That's awesome.
It was so fun. It would probably not be anywhere near as fun now. Like you just had to go to the enemy base and destroy their like go and crank the bolt inside theirs. It was like capture their base. That's all the objective was. You could just run in there and capture it if you were trying hard enough. But as a child, I was not capable of doing that. So I would just run around capturing all the points and then going and shooting all the stuff in my flying spaceship that I would use and go take out the enemy's main base and then walk in with no enemies and crank that bolt. And it was great. It was great. I didn't even talk about the single player, the thing that I would do the most. You had like a hub. It was a ship. There was a little VR training room, which would just have little robots that you would have to fight. They're the same kind that are in like the tutorial section of the Ratchet and Clank remake on the PS4. They're just a different color. But I would just fight those things for hours. I would have my 4 weapons that I had access to because I couldn't get to new planets maxed out, and then I would go do it again.
Yeah.
Oh man. That's my favorite Ratchet and Clank game. Oh, I gotta put Secret Agent Clank on here. You haven't played that one.
Oh, yep.
Man, I'm gonna put Secret Agent Clank in B tier along with Ratchet and Clank Going Commando. It was silly, because it's like Secret Agent Clank is a TV show in the Ratchet and Clank universe that Clank acted in, and this is that.
Is the PS5 Ratchet and Clank not on there?
It's not on there. It would.
What?
Where would it go? Would you put it in S tier?
I would put it in S tier.
It was so fun to play. I did beat it twice in one sitting. That was pretty crazy.
Man, I remember looking up that one. I remember getting the picture for it. Why the hell is it not on here? I don't understand.
It is what it is.
Man, yeah, but it would go in S tier if it.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Would you like to pick a different franchise, or we do have one singular game left that isn't part of a franchise?
I mean, we can go ahead and keep talking about the rest of Ratchet and Clank because I have played these other 3. Now, it's Tools of Destruction before Cracking Time.
I thought I had moved them around. I attempted to before when I was getting them in order.
Okay, Tools of Destruction
was good. I enjoyed it.
I thought was, compared to Cracking Time,
it was not as good.
It's
not as good as Cracking Time.
I would put Tools of Destruction B or C, whatever
I'm going to put it in C tier. I'm going to move the first Ratchet and Clank down to D tier.
Fair enough, yeah. I think Tools of Destruction was just pretty clanky. Like, it felt...
It was weird. I did not like the flying sections. I didn't like going to, I think it was Sargasso, the planet with the dinosaurs. That just felt like it took way too long to do. It was so tedious.
Like, even for a PS3 game, it just feels a little jank.
Yeah.
Like, it just feels very stiff to control, not fluid at all in its movement.
It wasn't great. Now, A Crack in Time, however, awesome. I
Dude,
loved A Crack in
yeah,
Time. My
I
favorite
played them back
puzzles
to
in
back.
any Ratchet and Clank games.
Mhm. And that was is that the introduction of the flying boots, the jet boots,
No,
or were
no,
they in any games before
I,
that?
oh no, I do think that's where the boots came from. There were just different ways that he would boost forward. Yeah, I think that is the origin of the rocket boots. He got them from the other
Mhm.
Lombax guy. A Crack in Time has one of my favorite rhinos in it because I like the music that it plays the most out of them.
Yeah.
Because it speeds up
Yeah.
as you shoot it, so
Mhm.
it's so cool. I loved it.
Yeah, yeah. And the story in A Crack in Time is
Yeah, it was
like
good.
which I would not expect from a for Ratchet and Clank. Like at least in Tools of Destruction, the story was not a
Yeah,
strong suit. I couldn't tell you a thing about Tools of Destruction's story. But A Crack in Time, however, it was very entertaining. That other Lombax that shows up, I liked
yeah,
him.
he
He
was
was a cool
cool. I'm
character.
glad that he turned evil
Yeah.
at the end. I think he made for a
Yeah.
good boss.
Mm-hmm.
I liked not fighting Doctor Nefarious again this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we
Yeah.
don't have it on here, but it's I don't think it's the one after A Crack in Time. I think it's the one after that because I think it goes Tools of Destruction, A
Quest
Crack
for
in
Booty.
Time, into the not into the Nexus, Quest for Booty, Full Frontal Assault, then Into the Nexus. The Into the Nexus, the last PS3 one, but that
I
one
think
would
Quest for Booty is in between Tools of Destruction and Crack in Time.
that very well could be.
Because he has to go rescue Clank or whatever,
Mm.
something like that. And he's like getting.
I
egg
haven't.
for
I
it, so
haven't
can't
played it
remember.
because it didn't have any trophies. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I would put Into the Nexus in D tier because it was bad. It was
Yeah.
so lame. Where would Crack in
Where'd you
Time
put
go?
Crack in Time,
Dude,
however?
I would think A
I-
tier.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I'm done.
Now the Ratchet
Yeah,
and Clank
I was.
remake. What were you gonna say?
Oh, nothing. I was gonna say, yeah, I would say A, but if you were gonna put it in B, then I would also be okay with that. But A is good.
The Ratchet and Clank remake.
It's
for
fun
the
to play. The
PS4?
remake
It is fun to
felt
play.
good to play.
It had a horrible platinum trophy. I'm not gonna put that into consideration for this, but having to use you
had to disco every
thing on
single
every
enemy
single type of enemy, which included bosses. If you missed one, you would just have to do another playthrough because it was do it on all the enemies in a single playthrough. It didn't carry over.
Yeah.
Which was awful, but it was a fun game. I enjoyed it. Where would we put it? I don't want to put it in A tier. I don't think it belongs in A tier.
Do you think B or C? Was it better than Tools of Destruction? Or about on par
I
with
say
it?
it was much more fun to play than Tools of Destruction
Okay. Yeah.
because Tools of Destruction was a little janky.
Yeah, it really was.
Dude, I forgot about this in A Crack in Time. Dude, being able to fly your ship around to the different planets in the space sections, that was so fun to me.
Dude, yeah.
Because you just
yeah,
go to
that
tiny
was
little
fun.
planets that you could just see the roundness of because they're just so small, little
Mhm.
asteroids. Dude, that was so awesome.
Yeah. Now, for PS5 Ratchet and Clank,
Dude, it was so good.
I'm just blanking on the name for no reason.
Rivet? Goral? Or what are you thinking
Yeah.
of a character? Yeah.
Yeah, that one. The name of the game. My brain just isn't
Ratchet
coming up
and
with
Clank. Gosh, A Rift Apart.
it. Yeah. I don't know why that was so hard for me to think of. But yeah, no, Rift Apart we already said S tier, but like man,
It's so
it
fun.
looks
It's
good.
so beautiful.
It feels
Dude,
good.
I love those rocket
All
boots.
of the weapons are fun. Like
Dude,
yeah,
the sprinkler is so cool. I love the sprinkler.
Yeah. And the arena mode in that one too.
Ooh, the arena mode in that one is really
that was
good.
fun. Yeah. Cuz there's like different things. Like there's boss fights in the
Well,
arena.
there's boss
and
fights
like,
in the other
specific
arena
challenges for you.
things. The
Yeah,
Rift Apart one
I
is
just
just
haven't
really
played the
good.
arena ones. Another, yeah,
because I don't think no A Crack in Time did have one. It was okay. It was just on like a gladiator ship. The
yeah,
the one in Tools of Destruction was cool. It was like in a carnival. You were in disguise. Your name was Pistachio. You had a mustache, and I like the glasses and mustache thing. Should we move on to another game?
yeah. You want to talk about Stray?
Yeah, we'll talk about Stray. I enjoyed playing
Now,
Stray.
cat game was very fun.
Yeah, it was cool.
I had a lot of fun.
You played
being
it.
a cat.
You enjoyed it much more than I did.
Really?
Well,
What did you not like about it? We'll start with that.
I didn't not like things. You just really enjoyed being a cat more than I did. You scratched many more things than I did. You just did more cat things, whereas I was being a gamer. It was fun.
Games that I can really get into like that are fun.
Where would you put this?
Because
I'm thinking A tier.
That's where I was going to.
Okay.
I figured you were going lower, so I was trying to formulate an argument to get it into A over B. But since you said A, yeah, for sure. It was really fun to me. The progression of the story, figuring out what this world is, what's going on, just as the story progresses, is very entertaining.
I did not like how the infection things just kind of like disappeared after a little bit.
Yeah.
But if they make a sequel to the game, those will probably come into play a good bit more. Because we saw like the whole hive. What?
Yeah, I really expected you to reunite with your cat family at the end of the game. I'm sad that you didn't.
It'll probably find them. Cats are crazy.
Yeah.
They got good navigation skills.
Yeah. Man, if they did make a sequel, that would be so good. I don't even know what the story would be in that one. I don't know how you would follow that up.
I have no clue.
It would be fun, though. I like the world of it.
I like the robots.
The world building was very well done.
Oh, man, I can't remember the name of the guy. It was the doctor's son. He had... His name was Seamus. But I had never seen the name Seamus spelt out, and I was so confused. I was like, who the heck would name their kid Seamus? Like, I was just so confused. I was like, well, they're robots. Like, they might just have weird names, so I didn't think much of it. But nope, that's Seamus. So, yeah, Stray, A tier. It was pretty good.
Yeah. All right, next one.
We're going to do the Horizon.
I think we should talk about Horizon.
Yeah.
Now,
You haven't played
I can't
Forbidden
remember.
West.
What do you think?
You haven't played Forbidden West, but we've both played the first one.
Yeah.
I thought the story was so mid. It was so hard to follow.
Okay, yeah, thank you. We think the same about the story.
The story was so mid. Oh my god.
It's the dialogue, the way that they deliver it makes
it was
like they expected the players to care so much, but it's just like I don't care about anything that's happening.
Like, it was interesting, but it was not something that I was interested in. Like, it was
that is a really good way of putting it.
It was cool. It's all about the AI getting crazy because of corruption. There's like in Forbidden West, there's like 5 different ones that they talk about regularly, and it's so confusing. Because there's Hephaestus, which is evil, but there's also Hades, which was evil. He was supposed to be dead, but he's not dead. Hephaestus is still all over the place, but we have to get Gaia, the copy of Gaia, to fix the world by making a different thing. I forget what the new one was going to be called, like Nirvana or something like that. They're just trying to save the world again because the robots are crapping out bad plants. That's all it is.
Yeah, it takes its like it thinks its story is its strong point when its gameplay is the strong point. You know what I mean?
The second game's story
it's like
was
somebody.
A lot better. It was very interesting hearing the stuff between the tribes, because you go out into the Forbidden West, which is all like not people don't live out there. There's just the tribes. They're huge. Yeah. They're huge tribes, but a lot more wildness than what was in the first one. It's very beautiful. Very beautiful game.
I think that if Horizon had like a banger story,
dude, it would be awesome. It would be on par with like God of War, because the combat is so cool. I love finding the weak points on the stuff.
What I was gonna compare it more to was Ghost of Tsushima. I think it's more similar to that, being that it's an action RPG and you can do stealth elements, but it's not. You know,
the stealth is not the greatest in that game, because it's hard to get hidden again. Like, it's really good to stay hidden until you're ready to fight, because you gotta set up all your traps and, you know, figure out what you actually need to shoot from this thing to make sure it doesn't just not get hurt. It was cool. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. It's kind of like Monster Hunter stuff. I enjoy that about Monster Hunter, getting the specific parts off the animals to craft things.
And the combat is enjoyable. Like all of the different kinds of
there's like power-ups in the second game
and
that enhance your there's one that literally will make you do 3 times as much melee damage, which you have a different ability that once your stick is charged, it'll glow blue, and if you do a heavy attack, it'll do like extra damage. So it's just so brokenly OP.
Yeah, and in general, I'm not the biggest fan of crafting in most games unless it's like, Minecraft. But like having to get all of the resources to make the your gadgets and whatever in Horizon, like that just seemed like they could have found an easier way around it where you would just kind of always have access to it and not have to worry about it.
It's very similar to the way that the Far Cry games do it.
Yeah.
Which it seemed to be a less tedious task in the Far Cry games. There's a lot less things that you have to get. But you also get different upgrades.
Where would you put it? I'm curious what you think of it.
I would say the first one, maybe C tier.
Dude, we are one person. Yeah. I was gonna say the same thing.
And I know you haven't played Forbidden West.
I haven't played that one, so this is
I don't think it belongs in A tier. I haven't finished it. It does have some pretty cool stuff that you could do. The bird that's on the logo, you get to fly on that thing. Or something similar to it. You get a flying mount to travel around on. It is so hard to travel around on the ground because there's so much elevation change, so many winding paths. It is so hard to get somewhere. Yeah. It's not just convenient straight lines.
Yeah, I know. In Forbidden West, the traversal looks like
it's cool.
Like it's a lot more fun.
Glider,
like, there's a glider and like a tether thing too.
You move at like half your walking speed when you're gliding.
Dude, okay, so speaking of gliders, there was a new like gameplay thing that came out
for Zelda.
Of the Zelda.
I saw it on the Ludwig stream because I was wanting to watch him play Pokemon.
I can't believe we didn't talk about that in the upcoming games we're excited about. Can't believe we didn't talk about that. But like it was him like explaining all the new like gameplay things. You can put stuff on your weapons.
Yeah, the crafting
like, you can have a sword and put a mushroom on it and just make it super powerful.
Dude, the boulder on a stick. I'm excited.
Yeah.
The only stuff that I saw in that video, the one that I saw at least, was just showing the rewind ability, because there's the rock that fell out of the sky and he went and stood on it and then rewound it and just went up to the floating islands
rocks in the sky.
And it showed the glider. It looked like it had more things hanging off of it.
Yeah. And it's so high up. Did you see, like,
it just kept going.
Like an enemy knocked him off and he fell to the ground, and it was like straight up like 45 seconds.
That reminds me of Gravity Rush 2
before he even took out his paraglider.
I know the Gravity Rush games are something that I would not even suggest that you play because you wouldn't enjoy them. I played the first one on my PS Vita on a car ride, and it uses gyro controls, which made it really difficult in the car. But I did it. I did it all in one go, and then I played the first one again, the remake, the remaster or whatever that was on the PS4. That was fun. I got the platinum on it. And then the second one, it's such huge scale compared to the first one. You go to different dimensions. The city is, instead of being like smaller areas that are separate, it's like there's the slums part of the city that's a floating island way down below, and then like 1,000 meters above that is the midtown city where all the merchants are, and then 1,000 meters above that is the higher district, but then above that's the military stuff. It's just because it's just very vertical. Awesome. Like if you need to get to the bottom, you could just yeet yourself off the ledge, because you can control gravity. That's how you fly around. You just make gravity point the other way, but you just kind of jump off the ledge and just fall for literal minutes straight to get to the lower levels. It's so cool.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Shifting gears to
Uncharted. Okay.
Now, again, a common theme in a lot of these is that the first game in the series is by far the worst.
Dude, I honestly
Sly Cooper, Ratchet and Clank.
I honestly want to put Uncharted 1 at D tier because of how awful just mindlessly shooting those people for those like 15 hours were. It was so boring. It was so
The
boring.
puzzles are good though.
There
and the
was
story is
hardly
good.
any puzzles in the first one. The second one,
Yeah.
is good. The first one is just vast
I
majority, mostly running around shooting people. And
Looking at the games in D tier though, I don't think it belongs to, like, it looks more on par with C.
I think the games in D tier aren't even that bad. That's why we
Yeah, and
changed it from F tier to D tier.
I don't think Uncharted 1 is not even that bad. I think Uncharted 1 is pretty good.
When was the last time you
Like,
played it, Jake?
a couple years ago,
How long is a couple?
like 2.
Like actually two?
Like I played it since I've graduated.
Man. Because
Yeah,
I've just
I
had
mean,
such a worse opinion of it since I played it a second time. The story was great. I loved the story still.
yeah.
I was so glad to experience that again. I do love how there's just the random paranormal stuff that happens in the games. Like in the first one, there's
Yes,
the
I
Nazi
love
zombies. The Mayans got infected. They
that.
infected them because they opened that tomb or whatever.
Like, I will fight for my life to not let Uncharted be ranked under Horizon and Returnal. I Okay, now
Returnal and Horizon Zero Dawn have been moved to D tier, and Uncharted
audio listeners
is
love you to death.
in C tier.
All right, now Uncharted 2 on the
Uncharted
other
2 is
hand.
good.
Okay, what are you thinking? Because to me, this is very obvious.
I'm trying to think. I didn't, when I played this one more recently again, I didn't beat it, but I got about halfway through. It was so much better because you start in the flash.
And climbing
Yeah,
up.
you're climbing up the
In
train.
a flashback, you're climbing up the train.
And
yeah.
or no, this is like, it's like the current time, and then like you do the flashbacks to where you're robbing that place with Flynn, and he betrays you, and the lady from The Lost Legacy, she was there.
Mhm.
And Nathan Drake,
The one that he constantly talks about.
Yeah, I was about to say that same thing.
Yeah, constantly.
He does.
Every time
climbs
you
up
like
a ladder,
give her a boost,
it's like, oh,
he's
what
like,
a nice
nice view or whatever. Yeah,
dude. It's great.
which is amazing.
The more I talk about it, the more I'm leaning towards A tier. I was initially thinking B
I
tier.
was gonna say S. To me, it is
S?
so obvious that it should be S. Yeah.
Why S?
To me, it's an S.
What
tier.
makes it into S tier?
I just have so much nostalgia for it. I I'm looking at every game in A, and I think it is just far and away better than all of those. I think, like, looking at the games we have in S,
Yeah, I
Sly
do
Cooper,
agree. I
Infamous,
see.
Spider-Man,
Yeah.
I would put it on par with all of
got it.
them.
Thinking about it, yeah, it's fine. in
And
S
the
tier.
story in Uncharted 2, that's really when the story of Nathan and what's her name?
Elena?
Starts with an E. Elena. That's when like their whole love thing like happens. That's like the start of them, you know.
So
And
the only thing that I'm thinking,
the whole Yeti thing,
those
I
Yetis
loved
were awesome.
That was
Those
so
Yetis were so
fun.
cool.
Yeah.
the only thing I'm thinking is if we already have Uncharted 2 in S tier, I don't ever think of Uncharted 3 and 4 as being worse than the second one. It's like they've just kept getting better.
Oh, Uncharted 4 is going in S too.
Okay, we'll put Uncharted 4 in S tier. Dude, I remember when I got the Platinum headset or whatever for the PlayStation, and it had the 3D audio, and I went and did that first mission, turned around, facing away from the TV. Do you remember? You were there. Because it was just really cool being able to hear. Like, it was so easy to hear the boats to your side.
Yeah.
But I must say this, 3D audio is overrated. It does not make that big of a difference from the 2.1 surround sound that is in earbuds normally.
So I'm gonna talk about Uncharted 4 for a little bit.
Okay.
When I first got my PS4, I had 3 games. I had Battlefront 1, I had Batman Arkham Knight,
Fire game.
and I had I had just played all the Arkham games leading up to Night because
That's
I knew
hot.
I was getting a PS4 for like Christmas, my birthday, or whatever it was. And I remember Uncharted 4 was the first game in my life where I ever was playing the game and was just like in awe of the graphics.
Oh, dude,
I was
Uncharted
like,
4 was so
how
fun.
in the world did they pull this off? Like, that's the only time in my life I've ever been just completely just in disbelief that they can make a game look that good. Like, it's 2023. If that game released now and looked the same, I would still be super impressed.
Dude, imagine
That game is...
Imagine they just do remasters for them all, and how good Uncharted 4 would look again.
I don't know how much they could improve it.
Better lighting.
Like, unless they just build it from the ground up and
Dude,
make an Uncharted 5, I don't...
Yeah, that's what they should do. You know how they remade The Last of Us? Because isn't it's the same studio, isn't it? Naughty Dog? Yeah. They remade The Last of Us. Why can't they remake Uncharted 1 and have it be much more parkoury and like the other ones,
dude.
and then remake Uncharted 2 and 3 and 4? By the time they get to the fourth one, we'll already be on the PS6. It will look godly. Dude, it'll literally just
amazing.
be Deadpool on our screen.
While you're at it, Sucker Punch, please, for the love
Make
of
Infamous.
God, remake Infamous. Oh my
Dude,
God.
Infamous 2 on the PS5 would be so good.
I would kill so many babies for that.
Speaking of killing babies, we still haven't placed Uncharted 3.
Now, Uncharted 3 is one that I've never actually played.
you
I've
serious?
played the first two. Listen, I've played Uncharted 1 and Uncharted 2 minimum 4 times, or 5 maybe.
That's crazy.
In my entire life. Because I've never gotten to the third one, because when I got my PS3, remember, I got the first 2 Infamouses and the first 2 Uncharted, so I could never play Uncharted 3 when I was little, when I had, my PS3.
Uncharted 3 was the first one that I played. I played them
And-
3, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Which is whack. And I have the collection that has the first 3 games. Every time I play them, though, I'm like, I'm gonna play through all 3, and then I play the first one, and I play the second one, and then I get, a little bit burned out, and then I'm like, yeah, I'll play the third one later, and I just never get to
Yeah,
it.
it
And the next
happens.
time I want to play them, I'm like, I'm gonna play the first one again, I'll get to the third one, and it just never happens. Someday I'm gonna get around to it. Someday.
I honestly remember very little from this.
From what I heard, it had a lot
the
of
huge, big things.
it had a lot of problems in development. It had a lot
It was cool falling out of plane. I am thinking just A tier, because I don't remember anything that would make me want to put it in S tier.
Okay. I mean, I can't say anything because I haven't played it, but okay.
Because I definitely enjoyed Ratchet and Clank: A Crack in Time more than Uncharted 3 when I played them.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
We're on to
Now
our
saving
biggest,
the best for last.
This is the heaviest hitter we got. We saved him.
Ooh.
We are going to talk about
It is...
big man killing people with 2 fire knives, and he's angry and does sex all the time.
It's gonna be so hard not putting all of these in S tier.
Okay, so God of War 1. That's probably the worst out of the 3. Not even bad. It's still great. The worst out of 3. You start fighting the Hydra, which is pretty cool. That was a fun fight. It doesn't control the greatest because it's an old game. What all do we do in that game? What are our power-ups that we get? I don't even remember the differences between them. I remember more of God of War 2 and 3.
You have Poseidon's thing. You have Ares, where you the shield with the spears poke out of you, and you have the lightning bolt thing. I can't remember. I think that might be it. You can Medusa head freeze people. In that one, your goal is to pretty much, kill Ares,
Yeah,
and your
'cause you're
only way
trying
to
to
do so is to
be
get
the God of
Pandora's
War.
box. So you just go to Kronos, who is just in the sand, and you get Pandora's box, and then you become big, and then you beat Ares. It's by far the shortest game. It is very simple, the story.
Oh yeah, I remember.
But-
Okay, I remember now. Looking at the stuff that you get. So you have your different blades that you can use, because you have the blades of chaos. There's the blades of Artemis, the blade of the gods, which is the thing that you use to kill Ares, and then the blades of Athena, which are OP. But you had your magic stuff. Dude, I want to say it was the Poseidon ability. Cause it made the vortex around the enemies.
Dude, I literally named all of the magic ones except Army of Hades. I got that wrong. But yeah, I think out of the whole series, the first one is the worst,
Hmm.
but it is gonna be. It's still way up there. It is an
It
amazing
is.
game, even though.
I don't want to put it in B tier. I'm thinking A. I don't think it deserves to be in S tier. I don't think the first
Oh my
one's
god.
that.
My heart skipped a beat. I thought you were about to say C. I was about to. Ooh, yeah, A. Yeah.
God of War 2 is the one where you go back in time, is it not? You fight the Fates?
Landon, I think the rest of these are going in S. I'm
No,
sorry.
I agree with you. I still want to
Oh.
talk about them. So God of War 2, we break mirrors and trap ladies inside of them,
And you start off fighting the Greek Statue of Liberty at the
which was
beginning.
awesome. You get stabbed by your dad,
Yeah.
and then you time travel and stab
By the
him.
blade of Olympus. Yeah, and you gotta fucking kill the multi-tittied fate.
The two hot ones and the not hot one. That's for you guys to decide which ones I'm talking about. I'll leave it ambiguous.
Yeah, and in that one, yeah, you get killed, and then that's when you climb out of
Yeah,
hell.
you get.
That
That's so
dude,
cool.
God of War 2 is the one that has that mission that's always on those videos, like the hardest levels in gaming. You know that one where you're climbing that wall, and it's like the spinning things, and you get hit by stuff, and you
Yeah,
fall all the way down the wall.
yeah.
Yeah, it didn't take me that
No, I don't
long,
remember
but
that
I
being
did
too
get
bad.
slightly
But
frustrated
those,
by
yeah.
it a couple times. Yeah,
God of War 3, we start by
I think
climbing out, or climbing up onto Olympus,
climbing up to
riding
Olympus.
on a Titan, and
Yeah.
then we
Yeah.
get a
It is so
the
epic. And it does
first
not
dude,
slow down
the
after that.
Poseidon that kill at the beginning. It was so cool. That being in Poseidon's view, his point of view of getting his eyes squished in by Kratos was sick.
And I know this, that isn't the first God of War game where you can have different weapons, but it's the first one where it feels like a worthwhile decision to use the different weapons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 'cause
Like
that's
you
the
can
one
have
where
like a
you
spear
had
and whatever
your
in God of War 2.
because the God of War 3 did that have the Hercules punchies?
Yep. The
And we got our boots in that one
whatever you
because that's
call
where
it.
we killed all the gods. Got our cool boots, we got our
That
cool
Yeah, God of
flashlight.
War 3 is the first one where you feel like super fucking geared up. You know, you feel armed to the teeth because you got the blades, you got Hades' things that are
Dude,
really
yeah, his
similar to the
hooks.
blades.
Those things are cool. They look cool. I didn't use them very
Yeah.
much.
Oh, I did. I thought they were really fun to use. Just for, different looking animations than the Blades of Chaos. But yeah, God of War 3, I think, is, like I said, every single one is just better than the last, except maybe not these next two.
Yeah, I did
I
enjoy
think,
God of War 2018 more than Ragnarok. They're still both going in S tier. Um, Ragnarok was awesome. It just made me too sad. I think that's the big thing. It just made me too sad.
I don't know what it is about it. Like, there was nothing in Ragnarok that I didn't like other than that one boy mission. Jesus
Oh my god, having to be boy
Christ.
for like 6
That
hours.
one boy mission.
Oh my god. It's like you think it's gonna
We're
finish
talking about
the first
it's
time when you go to Ironwood.
the first time you meet Angerboda when you go to Jotunheim the
Yeah,
first
because you have
time.
your
That
walking
mission
section
lasts
with
so
Angerboda to
long.
collect the fruit, and then you go back to her place, you talk for a bit, and then you go to the cave.
And then you do the worst boss fight in the
No,
game.
you gotta go to the cave first, don't you? Or is that after? Because it does take forever, because you do have
No,
that
yeah,
boss
that's right
fight.
before. Yeah.
And the cave, go to the cave. That cave sucked. It was so dark. It's hard to navigate.
And
get all
well,
the chests.
and even before that, you gotta
get
ride
there.
on Angerboda's thing through the water for 9
Yes,
hours.
it takes so long. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I did enjoy playing as Boy. I liked the times when we were with Thor.
Yeah.
Those are really cool. Especially when Boy dipped his
I-
hands into lava. And Thor was like, yeah, that tends to
yeah.
hurt.
But I don't know. It's just, it might be, I'm hesitant to stay nostalgia because it was just 5 years ago.
Now, I had a
But,
much bigger
like-
connection to God of War 2018 than Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm,
Because, dude, because
It's-
I played 2018, then 1, 2, 3, and then 2018 again. And
Yeah.
then it again.
Yeah, I did the same exact thing. Yeah, we both played it 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
For me, it was a 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5.
I mean, yeah, but me too. I played 4 multiple times, but
Dude,
you know what I'm.
dude,
You know
it
what
was
I'm saying.
that 100%ing it on Give Me God of War was so fun.
Yeah.
Man, it was so easy fighting that Valkyrie Queen. I don't see why people have such a hard time
Mm-hmm.
doing it. We just had to hit her a couple times and she was dead.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't
Like
know what other people's problem is with that fight. Like, yeah, it took a bunch of tries, but those last couple tries were so easy.
playing the God of War games has made me rethink. Like, you know what? Everybody has their opinions on what order you should watch the first 6 Star Wars movies in. Like, it's not just like some people are like, well, you gotta watch 4 and then 2 and then 3. It's like they have these weird
That's
orders.
weird. I would
Yeah, and
understand wanting people to watch them 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, like in the release order that they
yeah,
came
or
out,
one, two,
or
three, four,
in
five, six, either one. It's
chronological order. Yeah.
it just depends on whether you want to like preserve the I am your father thing,
Hmm.
or whether you want to preserve the Anakin is in fact Vader thing. Because if you don't know anything about them, they're both mysteries. It's which one do you want to be a mystery is the whole
I
thing.
just
You know
can't
what I mean?
even comprehend a world not knowing either of those things.
Yeah. But it's like for someone that hasn't watched them, that's you gotta weigh which one you think is more important.
Mm.
That's if you're watching on YouTube, we have an audio only version on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Google Podcast. If you're listening to the podcast version, we're also on YouTube, where we'll hopefully be making some different types of content in the future. Anything that can be classified as internet content is something that we could potentially do someday. But that can only happen if you continue to support the show in whatever way you feel like. Whether that's liking the video, subscribing, leaving a comment, whatever you want to do, we
Yeah,
appreciate it.
especially if you want to leave your video on in the background if you don't like watching it at times 2 speed while it's muted, and just let it play through and then go
Mhm.
off of it when it's done. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we suggest going to every single separate podcast medium, downloading it, leaving a 5-star review, and listening to the episode multiple times each,
Yeah, at
and
least
then
3
going to the
times.
yeah. Well, I
Maybe
think 3.
4.
Yeah, I we at least 10 or 12 would be
Hmm.
ideal, but 3 is okay. Uh, you can either do that or don't do anything. It's whatever you want to do. Because we do appreciate you just listening this far into the episode.
Yes, that is
Uh,
that is true. I do want to do. It's is weird coming from me. I feel. I do want to do a shout out for our TikTok specifically because I think that is gonna
yeah.
be one of the more entertaining spots that we'll post things on because of the
I
shorts.
I
Those seem to
have fun
yeah
editing
those seem
those.
to be very entertaining to me. I have
Yeah,
enjoyed
yeah.
them. So if you haven't
Uh,
seen them, you should go watch them. There's not many on there at the moment, but there'll be more. Don't
mhm,
worry.
mhm. And speaking of the TikTok, that is at I See With The Boys. We're also on Instagram and Twitter. Uh, I don't know as of when this is posted, but as of when this is being recorded, I haven't like put anything on the Twitter. I'm kind of hoping that once we get more people, we can use Twitter as kind of more of a way to like communicate with the people. But like I haven't posted anything on there, so we probably won't have any followers. But we'll
We'll see.
see.
It'll be fine.
Uh, you can also send in topics or episode ideas at InternetContentPod@gmail.com. You can send in questions. We might have a mailbag episode one day if enough of you send in stuff, which that won't be for a while.
That is true,
Uh,
but it's fine. Thank you guys for being here.
thank you for listening. Yep. We hope to see you again next episode.
See ya.